Hello, college football fans, and welcome to a high noon showdown, action style, here on CBS Sports Network. Great to have you with us. Dave Ryan alongside Corey Chavis, longtime college football expert. Chave, bottom line, Northern Illinois had a great win in Atlanta, beat Georgia Tech. Toledo went to Notre Dame, almost beat the Fighting Irish. On paper, that's nice. Forget about it, Chave. This is about the regular season out in MAC play. Every game is a playoff game.
Man, you couldn't have said it better, Dave. In early October sets you up, right, for November football. You have to win these early October games, and both teams come into this game with a win under their belt in conference play, and that makes the matchup all the more exciting.
Time now for Home Depot. Do Project Smarter. Let's talk about this tough Toledo defense, tops in the MAC scoring defense, and tackles for loss.
Well, Vince Karras has installed really a defense that is outstanding against the run. Watch how they set the edge against Notre Dame. They run to the football. This forced fumble against Ball State, and then they finish plays, interception opportunities. Look at Chris McDonald takes this to the house. And for Northern Illinois, they've got to replace a pretty good back in Harrison Whaley. Clint Rakovich is a very good player, 6 touchdowns already. Ontario Brown, a week ago in the second half alone, ran for over 100 yards, gives this team some hope.
Coaches, Corey, today, Thomas Hammock, year 3, coaching his alma mater. He was a star running back at Northern Illinois in his playing days. Had 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons, 5 wins in year 1. Winless in the shortened season last year, but sitting at 3-2 in 2021. For Toledo's Jason Candle told us this week he loves the team's pride, the fight, and how much they come out swinging for 60 minutes. He knows this is going to be a huge test today against the Huskies. And here we go. Toledo has won the toss, electing to defer. Trayvon Rudolph back to receive the kick. Thomas Cluckey will kick it off. Homecoming 2021 underway on a perfect afternoon in Toledo. And Rudolph says this will be a touchback. The Huskies will take over at the 25.
Man, I was a little worried early. I thought you would throw that paper at me.
I missed you, don't worry. For Northern Illinois starting QB, he's a redshirt from Clive, Iowa, near Des Moines, but born in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan State transfer Rocky Lombardi. Hey, it's a football game with a Lombardi on the field. No relation to the legendary Packers coach. He gets asked about it, he told us about once a week. He told us this week, named after 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers legendary running back Rocky Blyer. Now, a really good quarterback. Ontario Brown starting running back, freshman, first career start, and right off the bat, we got a whistle.
That's a good thing. Northern Illinois took the first timeout prior to the delay of game foul.
Did not want a 5-yard delay of game penalty, so an early timeout for Coach Hammock.
Well, you always say don't take the timeouts into the half, so at least you get one out the way early, right?
All right, Shay, we got some time. Let's check your keys to the game here.
Well, I think for Northern Illinois, red alert. This defense in the red zone, Toledo, is outstanding. You got to score touchdowns when you get down there. 2 or fewer chunk plays. That means plays over 40 yards eliminate the big play. For Toledo, if you allow 3.5 yards or less per carry, this team is averaging, we talked about it, Dave, almost 6 yards per carry on first down, and then 7 penalties or less. Toledo, just too many penalties. They've had 11 in both of their losses.
Keep a close eye on your keys today, Chape. So it's Brown, the featured running back, freshman from Georgia. Big pickup on first down. And he rumbles ahead for about 12 and a first down for the Huskies on the move.
And that has to be encouraging. And working off that left side, that time behind J.J. Lippy. And you give up that many yards on a first down carry, defensive line has to step up.
Brown 101 rushing yards in his first career snaps as a Husky. Last week at home in DeKalb against Eastern Michigan. Played the second half. Direct snap, Radkovich. It's the Wild Husky. The Western Illinois transfer rumbles ahead for about 3. On the first down run. We can't wait to watch this guy play today.
Yeah, he's a really good football player, and I've been excited about him, and so have you.
Roommates with the quarterback, Rocky Lombardi. He's a redshirt senior from Crete, Illinois, and in his 1 year at Northern, a team captain, so clearly a great leader. Here's second down. Lombardi. Short arms that one. Hey, watch him on film. It does happen a little bit. And the pass is incomplete. Looking there for Messiah Travis. Some of those easy throws. And actually, Rocky told us this week in our conversation, Chave, with him on those layups, sometimes he just comes up short.
Yeah, that's something you talked about, and I couldn't agree with you more. And what happens, Dave, is now you're in third down and long. This is where they don't want to be. They're not a very efficient team in third and long situations. And I think you got to try to get, in this game, Tyrese Ritchie involved early on this down, number 3.
He's their top talent as a receiver. Fastest guy. Lombardi, third down, pocket collapses, throws. Ritchie right on cue, makes the catch. Tyson Anderson makes the stop defensively for Toledo, but there is a chain mover much needed for Northern Illinois' confidence early here.
Well, they're actually bringing a cornerback pressure off the edge. He doesn't even really recognize it, but what a throw. And I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, Dave. Sometimes you get these outstanding throws on a dime, and then you had to miss the play before. So he's got to get a little more consistent.
57% completion rate. That's just not nearly enough for a starting quarterback in the FBS. Michigan State transfer. First down, run play. Ontario Brown, freshman Savannah, Georgia, is bottled up. They lose about a yard there. Good pursuit defense. There's Juan Johnson, Deontay Johnson involved.
And they're so active, and I think that's going to be the challenge for a guy like Nolan Potter, even on the edge. You know, how do you handle the activity of this Toledo defensive front? And I think Vince Karras does an outstanding job of moving them around. You're going to get so many different looks today. Hopefully you can limit those if you're Northern Illinois.
Second and long. Fake the fly sweep. Ontario Brown runs strong, runs hard. Johnson makes the stop. Good pickup, though. Crosses the 40 to the 38. It sets up about 3rd and 3 here for Northern on the initial drive of the game.
Well, watch him sidestep on this outside. Run a really good block outside by number 65, Logan Schernitz. You get a block like that, you better make somebody miss. The right guard, who the coaches feel like is really probably their most consistent interior player. Now you're in 3rd and short. This is where you want to be. I think this is 2-down territory now. They don't get it here, Dave. I think they go for it on 4th. They could run it now.
Thomas Hammock's not afraid to go for it on 4th down. We know that. Design quarterback sweep play. Lombardi, first down and then some for Northern. Keeps on trucking. Maxon Hook finally catches up with Rocky Lombardi. But we know he's a good running quarterback. Just ask Maine's defense a couple weeks back.
Yeah, and Dave, when they lost to Colorado State in this same stadium, watch the pullers. You got to get a couple of guys outside. We talked about Rakovich running the ball, 6 touchdowns. Look at that block. He's still blocking. And the play isn't over. The replay, he blocked through the replay. When you get that kind of effort from a running back with 6 touchdowns, that's why you're 3 and 2.
4 rushing touchdowns this year for Lombardi. We know he can do it with his feet, too. Had a huge run at the Big House against Michigan. About the only bright spot of the day for Northern. Here's Brown, the freshman. Enveloped quickly by Jamal Hines. It's a gain of 1. We love the defensive ends for Toledo.
Yeah, he along with Terrence Taylor. They've got Nate Gibhon, also DeAndre Reagan. A lot of depth at that position, and they're very versatile.
Brown, for his career start, said during the long rain delay in the Eastern Michigan win last week in DeKalb, my heart was beating outside my chest. I knew I was going to play in the second half, and the veterans calmed it. They said, relax, just relax. Just go back to your training or practice, you'll be fine. Freshman, big moment here. Second and long, on cue, here's Brown. Trying to stretch the defense, flag flies. We'll check out the marker. Jackson Barrow had 6 tackles against Ball State. It's a holding call coming here against Northern Illinois. No gain on the run.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty from previous spot. Second down.
It's left tackle Marcus Cox, sophomore, Peoria, Illinois. One of the top offensive linemen for Northern. Good numbers. But it's all about red zone touchdowns, Jake. We've gone over these stats together, you and I, all week.
Yes, and 5 field goals. They've been efficient. 17 for 17, that's great. Against this team, you have to capitalize on the scoring opportunities in the red zone with a touchdown. 3 points is not enough.
Second and 19. Here's Lombardi, sideline route. Messiah Travis, intended receiver, can't bring it in. A little too tall. That's what we're talking about when it comes to the accuracy of Rocky Lombardi. That's a throw you got to make.
And a little bit of an overstride on the front foot, and it's a good effort by Travis. But for me, the point you've made is now put them in this position where the field goal's possibly all you're going to get out of the drive. So I'm thinking draw right now, maybe the screen. If you run a screen, number 82 is in the slot. That's Tristan Tavis, where he's actually motioning away now. They'll sometimes run the screen to that side.
10th play of the drive. Lombardi hit as he throws, delivers, looking for Rudolph over the middle on the post. Tyson Anderson on coverage for Toledo. It's incomplete. Johnson drilled Lombardi. Good pressure on the QB.
You're exactly right, Dave. And watch this hit. And a perfectly formed tackle in that situation. Now, you were watching before the game. We were out on the field watching Richardson, and this is about the range you were checking him out at, right, Dave?
He went between 30, 35, and 40.
Yeah.
And eventually, I mean, every kick we saw, and I'll post a few on Twitter, don't worry, later. He was true right down the middle. This from 43. He's 6 for 6 this year, and all 15 of his PATs. So Richardson trying to stay perfect. And he does just that. He's got it. And we've got our first points on a sun-splashed afternoon at the Glass Bowl in Toledo. Rockets get the ball when we return to the Glass Bowl. Early lead for NIU.
For beef jerky, what's your beef?
Some great coaches here at Toledo, including Jason Candle in year 6, 2017 MAC Coach of the Year, MAC Championship. This is a matchup between the 2017 and 2018 MAC Championship game winners in the Rockets and the Huskies. Coach Candle, longtime assistant here as well. He's 3-2 in his career head-to-head with Northern. Likes the path that he's creating for this Toledo program. Because of COVID a year ago, a lot of the teams in the recent years and in past years at Toledo were supposed to be honored. They weren't last year at the Glass Bowl, the abbreviated season, so it's great to see a lot of the teams out today. 3 straight Tangerine Bowl wins for the Toledo Rockets in the 70s.
And a
legendary quarterback,
streak, right?
Chuck Ely. Yeah, they won 35 games in a row. Chuck Ely is here today. He is the face of the program. Richardson kicks off. Here's Mitchell on the return. Bryce Mitchell, almost a lane to take it to the house. And Richardson, the quarterback, the kicker, eventually put down Mitchell. A 34-yard return.
And that has to be a little bit encouraging for Toledo, that return, because coming to the game, they were only averaging about 17 yards a kick return. And that's pretty low in terms of a national rank, 108th.
I was ahead of myself, Chip. Quarterback. I was getting ready here. Introduce the audience to Carter Bradley from Jacksonville. A year ago against the Huskies, first start of the season, threw for 432 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7th most passing yards in Rockets history, the most by MAC QB last year. It was the Rockets' first win in DeKalb since '06, the son of Raiders defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. And we got another flag before the first snap. That's both teams delay a game here.
Offense, 5-yard penalty.
You know, a lot of times that happens after a big return. Everybody's excited. You get more claps when the guy's coming off the field. And the operation times, that play clock is started, and you forget about that.
At the beginning, the Rockets offense wanted. Brian Koback featured back. Bradley throws instead on first down. That play is blown up and going nowhere. Jordan Gandy, the corner for Northern Illinois, got there in a hurry. It's a loss of 1. And on the pass to Juwan Newton.
Yeah, I'm really interested to watch this offensive line against, I think, a pretty good defensive front. We talked about the activity of the Toledo defensive front. Northern Illinois Illinois has got some pretty good players up front as well.
Rockets are moving backwards right now. A shift from the tight end Drew Rossi. Here's second down. Koback, not much. James Esther, one of 16 captains for Northern Illinois, makes the play. It's a gain of 3.
We talked about him along with Nick Bettine, their linebacker in the middle. They kind of lead the way a little bit. Bettine does a lot of the play calls, and I think their linebackers have played pretty well this season.
Another former walk-on has become a captain at Northern Illinois. That's kind of a pattern there. Got that gray shirt program going. Nick Bettine is a good one, and we love Lance DeVoe on tape. After missing 2 years because of injuries, he's back playing well. 3rd and long here. Rockets sputtering a bit, first drive. Bradley throws, connection this time. Maddox has the catch, got to the 45, Devin Maddox, but it's a 2 full yards shy of the yard to gain the 47. It's a gain of 12. Let's see what Jason Candle's thinking about here. First drive of the game. Going to go for it. What do you think, Jay?
I think it's fine. You're around midfield. You want to establish an aggressive mentality for your football team. And this is conference play. You got to send a statement.
2 for 9 this year. 4th downs, 22.2%. For the Rockets, big early play in our ball game here. Some pressure from Northern, deep ball. Mitchell can't catch up with it. And it's incomplete. And on downs, the Huskies get it right back. Good defense. Miles McGee on coverage downfield.
I think that has a lot to do with that first drive, Dave, that Northern Illinois coming down and establishing the run. You feel like, hey, we got to get them off schedule. So they try to play it aggressive, wide open receiver for a touchdown, and you flat out miss him. Now you miss him against a corner who is coming into the lineup for the first time. You got to take advantage of those opportunities.
The Huskies chave missing this star freshman running back. 6th in the nation in rushing. Harrison Whaley is out. Now, what everyone says in DeKalb, he left last week's game, Eastern Michigan first half, arm was in a sling, did not make the trip today.
And they probably were hoping that he would, because he's just been really just unbelievable in terms of how he's run. He's run pretty hard, and he's also he's played fast. You don't get that a lot from a guy transitioning to the collegiate level.
Ratkovich featured back here, end around play, flea flicker play, but Lombardi drops the ball, has it on a bounce, and Rocky Lombardi is snowed under. Jamal Hines got there, put him down on a disastrous play for the Huskies that just blew up. You know, Rocky told us this week he plays some high school basketball. Good thing. A little dribble action there.
Well, they were looking for somebody down the field, and Tyson Anderson covered it perfectly, I thought. And the free safety was back from injury down the field. You could kind of see it maybe in the screen. They're trying to hit. You see Anderson, number 1, recovering there, and he gets back and gets in good position. So maybe a good thing he did not throw that football.
Loss of 8. Not good for the Huskies. Here's Lombardi. Ritchie's got it. Dropped there by Womack. Tyrese Ritchie, team's leading receiver, 22 catches on the year coming in. He's a weapon.
And now they're back in the 2-down territory. You're all the way back to 3rd and 3 now. So you end up running the football here or throwing it, and you're still going to go for it on 4th down. So it's kind of flipped a little bit. You got now Northern Illinois maybe in a 4th down aggressive mode.
To get it 15. Sets up 3rd and 3. Ratkovich, the FCS transfer, making some noise at the FBS level, is a feature back here. Lombardi looks left all the way. Has his man. Early tackle. A good play by Tyson Anderson has been so good. Fabian McCray, redshirt freshman from Chicago, has his 2nd catch of the season. Now let's see what Coach Hammock's got in mind here.
Oh, when you talk to the coaches, when you talk to the coaches, they talked about Fabian McCray right there that you see on the screen being the 3rd down guy.
All right, penalty on Toledo there, Jay. Too many men on the field. So cost them 5, automatic 1st down.
But I think that's still encouraging that he made the catch on that down. Now, I believe you can get right back into your run game. But we've seen them have success a little bit on 1st down, the first run of the game. It's tough to forget that number, right? 6 yards per carry on 1st down for Northern Illinois.
It's one of your great stats this week. All your film study. Went over those numbers last night. Big key. Got it right here, Chave, on the board, so I'm ready.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, we'll see if if Toledo can kind of stymie it, though, Dave, right?
Timeout Toledo here, Corey. Rockets a little out of sorts to begin this game here today. Northern on the move, deep in Rocket territory. Timeout, back in a moment. Off the timeout here, Corey, with a good homecoming crowd on hand. The run game will be so important, we know, for Northern Illinois. Again, one of the teams being honored here at the Glass Bowl. So every break, we're going to have one of the great Toledo teams from the last 50 years on being honored. So they're still clearing the field here. It's going to take a moment.
Well, I think you should take a moment when you have that kind of success. I think it should be lauded, and these fans have to appreciate it. And I think the stadium is beautiful. I know they like playing night games here. I vote for more day games.
I'm with it. I love
like
the high noon start.
Looks,
you know I love the high noon showdown.
I love the trees, man. This is tight, man.
We were here a couple years ago on Tuesday night from action. Was it like 10 degrees? It was November.
Was not that cold.
All right, 15.
It had to be 38.
Oh, man. I'm a Florida guy now. I got it soft. First down. Richie the motion man. Play fake. Lombardi's on the move. Little bootleg action. Delivers that ball. And a good play for the tight end who's got the grab. Jamal Turner has his catch. I'll make that, excuse me. Mohamed Toure, my fault. Gain of 14.
Watch him. It's kind of a cross boot action, and Womack almost comes up to make the play. He breaks his tackle. And look at the strength after the catch. Excellent play design. You get the pressure that time from Johnson, but Lombardi gets it off, and I think that's a kind of a changeup. That was first down. They're throwing it now. Kind of breaking the tendency. They're about 75% run on first down.
Torre's second catch of the year, so involving some receivers who haven't got a lot of targets this year. Here's Richie on the shovel. This is a pass play. Richie turns the corner, then shoved out of bounds by Quinion Mitchell for the Rockets, but another good pickup for the Huskies. 9 more yards.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Eric Eidsness has done a really good job with this game plan. The first 15. You mentioned the shovel pass, but again, watch the offensive lineman on the perimeter. Number 79, J.J. Lippy, with another good space block. This offensive line, I thought, has been pretty good this year. They even competed against a very good Michigan defensive front, had their moments, but they've played well this year.
Billy Dozier splits the left of Lombardi. Pitch play. Here's Brown. Looks to go north, trying to get that edge. Well, certainly glad Tyson Anderson is back in the lineup. If you're defensive coordinator Vince Karras for Toledo, he's been in and out this year injured. Gain of 6.
Well, again, we've got linemen pulling on the perimeter and having to get out. You see Shernitz outside, number 65, along with Potter. And they're going to move and change the entry angles for the tackling of Toledo's defense. Won't be surprised if they go to it again. They got 2 tight ends in the game. They're mixing up their personnel. They've actually got an offensive tackle, Evan Buss, in at tight end right now.
Brown a first down, first and goal here for the Huskies. Clap snap. Lombardi keeps turning toward the goal line, keeps those legs chugging, and gets to the 2. And sets up second and goal before he runs into a wall of blue jerseys.
And he runs right behind Buss. They bring him in. They're not just bringing him in the game so it looks good. They're running behind him, number 60, and then they also have on that same side their normal tight end, Sorahan. So they're mixing it up, and I think that's why I talked about the offensive coordinator having a plan. Your first 15. How are we going to attack this defense? Similar approach as Colorado State used a couple of weeks back.
Feature back is Radkovich, 220-pound redshirt senior. Here's second and goal. It's Radkovich, lunging, twisting, turning. Waiting for an indication. He's in. Touchdown, Northern Illinois. Clint Radkovich, 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and the transfer's getting it done for the Huskies. 2-yard TD run.
You can see the movement inside and very good blocks. That time, I believe, number 82, Tristan Tavis, comes in and makes a good lead block against number 30, Jonathan Jones.
We will have a review on that touchdown. All scoring plays are reviewed, but we'll make sure with replay up here in the press box with us that Radkovich got in. Let's take a look, There's the football. You can't see his knee there. It was called a touchdown on the field, so you need overwhelming video evidence to change this. It's all about the contact point, knee, elbow, hip, but you can't see that really in that look.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you've got any evidence to overturn the call on the field, and I think it does potentially cross the plane right the last look that we just saw.
And a good chat with Ratkovich this week. He went to the same high school as receiver Trayvon Rudolph, so he's looking for a new home. Trayvon was very instrumental in making that connection to get him to move up a level from the FCS to the Mid-American Conference in Northern Illinois.
Well, I like what he did at Western Illinois. He was an all-Missouri Valley Conference football player there. He had 128 catches during his time there. And I think what they like about him, he can do so much. I've even seen him do a lot on special teams. You know I love that.
I know you do.
But I think he's an NFL prospect potentially as a fullback. And I think he can do a lot. He squats over 600 pounds. He came to campus, Dave, and squatted over 600 pounds.
How about that? Tim O'Day from Hastings, Nebraska is our referee today. He's an engineer and an outstanding Mid-American Conference official. So he's going to look this through with the replay crew up here in the booth with us. James Schaefer is the instant replay official in the press box to confirm the touchdown. Ratkovich told us, big fan of Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Who's had a great career
so I guess
out of
he
Harvard.
wants to be a fullback then.
And that's a big reason that Thomas Hammock was able to land Ratkovich from the Leathernecks of West, one of the best nicknames in the country.
And that's because, obviously, that was somebody that Hammock coached at Baltimore as the Ravens running back coach from 2014, and for a couple of years anyway before he moved on.
So that was the main connection there between Rudolph and the idea of becoming the next Juszczyk, perhaps in the NFL. We watched him pregame on the field. What do you think physically, Ratkovich?
I think he has what it takes to make that transition. I think he can put on about 10 or 15 pounds, and he's already strong. He benches over 400 pounds as well. He's got some explosiveness in the lower body, 34.5-inch vertical. So he's a player that you get here, and he was kind of maybe undervalued at the FCS level.
I got to call a Kyle Juszczyk game at Harvard. It was fun.
Wow, okay.
Harvard Bucknell on CBS Sports Network years ago.
He used to run it a little bit too, so similar roles.
He was unbelievable.
Both can catch it, and that's the big thing, right?
Review underway here. It continues. It was called a touchdown on the field, which would give Northern a 2-score lead beginning our ball game here today. Sun-splashed afternoon here in Toledo. Thomas Hammock and Northern, Jay, off to a really good start. It's their best start in 4 years.
Yeah, I was just about to kind of go into that. I'm glad you mentioned it, and I just think that just how they've come out is a statement. Now, you can talk about the 0-6 record from a year ago all you want to, but you remember his first year here, they won 5 games. I believe what he's shown today, along with the first 5 games of the year, and you remember what I told you about the Michigan game, 63-10. I saw some positive signs in that game in terms of just matching up physically.
We are having a communication issue between the referee, Tim O'Day, and the video replay booth. I believe that's been fixed. Oh, all right, take the touchdown away. Take the points off the board.
Inside the 1 yard line where it will be 3rd down.
Call overturned. I did not see that anywhere in our look from our great crew here in Toledo. I'm 0 for 2, Jay. Last week, I mean.
Well, I consider you 2-0. You're undefeated in my book.
All right, I appreciate that.
Hey,
Liberty UAB,
And I'll also say they sure took a lot of time. If you look at it that long, you better get it overturned.
All right, so sets up 3rd and goal, going right into the launch pad, the Toledo student section. And they're pretty excited now to make some noise, trying to throw off Northern's offense here. We'll see if they try the same exact thing. Ratkovich feature back. TD taken off the board. 3rd and goal. Flags hang on. They're going to back up 5 perhaps. Let's see. Ball start.
Offense number 70. 5-yard down.
It's a launch pad change. I mean, the student section's right there. It's tough.
When we talk about Toledo avoiding penalties, I don't think Northern Illinois has had as many penalties this year, but that was a costly one because now you put it back in the hands of, you're going to have to throw the football here.
Big momentum changer for sure. I mean, you're 2-3 minutes on the sideline, assuming the touchdown counts. Come back out, have the false start, back you up 5. And now it's 3rd and goal. Lombardi will throw. Looks for Tavis. Jonathan Jones, the breakup. Incomplete, sets up 4th and goal.
Red alert. This red zone defense by Toledo has been unbelievable all year. Another field goal forced. And we talked about it at the beginning. You could not, if you don't capitalize your Rocky Lombardi in this Northern Illinois offense in the red zone, it's going to end up coming back to bite you later in the game. Another red zone defensive stop for Toledo.
Richardson tries for his 8th straight made field goal this year. His counterpart Thomas Cluckey leads the MAC with 8 made field goals. This would tie him. This is a short one from 22. Sophomore from Orland Park, Illinois. Brother Rice High School, Chicagoland. No good! He misses a 22-yarder. His first miss of the year. And the red zone defense shuts down Northern Illinois. What a script flipper. Wow. You'd think that'd be automatic, but no. Left upright. And a missed field goal for Richardson keeps it 3-0. So great for Northern on that short field goal attempt from John Richardson. Matt Ferentz, who's the punter, has a little trouble on the hole here. It's low, a little dribble, and the kick kind of sideways, and it's the upright. Shocking miss from such short range for a really good kicker, John Richardson. All right, Jave, can Toledo take advantage? Because the Rockets have scuffled here in the first quarter so far. Rossi, the motion man. Koback will run on first down, looking for 10 more yards to 10 through 3,000 for his great career. For Brian Koback, transfer from Kentucky and a senior captain. Tackled by Ray Thomas of Northern Illinois. Koback, the Rockets' leading rusher, 4 touchdowns on the ground this year. 7th all-time Toledo history. Career rushing yards in motion this time. Empty backfield on the 2nd and long pass to Maddox, who grabs it and then is nailed by Ray Thomas. 2nd straight tackle for the defensive end for Northern.
That was an outstanding job by Thomas retracing his steps. You get a screen and then you end up turning around and running it down. Otherwise, that's going to pop for a first down. And you talked about Lombardi missing some easy throws. We've also had some misses from Bradley on occasion this year. And I think that's what you've got to challenge for on 3rd down in terms of playing some man coverage if you're defensive coordinator Derek Jackson.
Here's 3rd down, shotgun. Here's Bradley. He'll throw. Winstead, the intended receiver, and broken up by Miles McGee, and nearly a pick 6 for the Northern corner. It's incomplete and punt time here for Toledo.
No, they play man coverage. It's exactly what I expected. Watch this break. You're going to have him run the out. He runs the route for him. And he drops the pick, really. I mean, that's a pick 6.
Push-ups?
And, well, no, you're going to probably.
I just want to know if they don't push-ups, Jay.
You might have to run the stadium steps if you drop a touchdown pick. But that was an excellent break, and they were very excited about him getting into the lineup this week.
Richie deep to receive the punt. Here from Bailey Flint. Grabs it, evades some tacklers on kick coverage. Gets by Jonathan Jones, still on his feet. And he rumbles ahead and pulls tacklers into plus territory. Gets to the 46. A good return for Northern Illinois.
A good return. This is unbelievable. Watch this. I mean, that's what you're talking about. He makes Jones miss and a number of different players. I like the hop skip as he's returning it. Well, Richie's got some talent. Now, he started this game off fast. They said the coaches felt he was kind of pressed a little bit this year. Had the big season a year ago, over 50 catches. Sometimes you come into that next season wanting to do too much too soon. Starting to kind of get into a rhythm, and if he can add that punt return to his resume, that's going to make him even a brighter star.
He's got 3 catches today. Another catch in all 23 games in his Northern career. Here's first down. Run play. And a good pickup. Jay Ducker, freshman from Bellevue, Nebraska, outside Omaha, gets his first tote of the day. Picks up 8 yards for Northern Illinois.
8 yards on first down. Again, going back to what we talked about, running the football on first down. You got to stop this on first down. You can't allow 8 yards and your safety, Maxon Hook, to make the tackle. And I think so far so good for Northern Illinois. Regardless of the score, you're picking up 6, 7, 8 yards on first down running the ball. It's going to be a long day for the defense.
Pistol look on second down. Play fake. Lombardi, the boot right, throws in the move. Bobble caught. Tavis comes down with it, gets to the 30. It's a first down on a wild play that could have been a disaster for Northern Illinois.
And if I'm Northern Illinois right here, I'm thinking about taking a shot. I know I mean, this is a pretty good throw on the bootleg, and I think you go ahead and take a shot because you're in that high red zone area. You don't want to mess around with their red zone defense. Take a shot, challenge down the field, make their defensive backs make a play.
7, Justin Clark, tackler for the Rockets. A minute to go in our first quarter from sunny Toledo today. And a first down from the 30 of Toledo. Play fake. Rocky Lombardi, time, wants a deep ball. It's intercepted. Picked in the play by Chris McDonald, who had the pick 6 against Notre Dame. And here he goes. McDonald, a big return. Rudolph tracks him down for the tackle. Toledo, the sudden change. The Rockets back in business thanks to the great defense.
Excellent play by McDonald in the ball skills. But I like the play call from offensive coordinator Eric Eisness. I think you have to be aggressive in that high red zone. They're at the 30-yard line. You've already come down and really missed a couple of opportunities to get a score. Stay aggressive. Your defense is playing well. I think that was an outstanding job by McDonald saying, no way.
Pick 6 in South Bend for the sophomore from Miami. At 16-14, Toledo went into the halftime locker room with a lead, almost beat the top 10 ranked Fighting Irish that day on September 11th. First down, the new quarterback comes in. For the first time we see the Quan Finn, outstanding running quarterback, picks up 8 on the first down run. He is a versatile dual threat weapon. Now, Jason Kendall was careful to tell us this week, Shave, he's not just a running quarterback. And we saw him in pregame warm-ups on the field. Got a good arm, too.
Well, he's made some good throws in games, and I think that gives you encouragement in terms of him being potentially a quarterback of the future.
Only a freshman from Detroit. Go back, gets the carry, looking for the first down marker, gets 1. And it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
And I probably should say quarterback of the present day.
That's right.
These two quarterbacks for Toledo both play, and they both play a lot.
Quarter is complete. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. Only points so far today. Tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, CBS Sports Network brings on the toughness as PBR heads to the Carolinas for the Union Home Mortgage Invitational right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Quarter number 2. Rockets Chave 0 first downs in the first quarter. Quan Finn, state high school champion, Mr. Football, State of Michigan. 2018 senior year. Remains at QB to begin the second quarter, flanked by Bryant Koback. Second quarter's underway. Koback off left tackle, turns ahead. Does get a first down to begin the second quarter. Chains move to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, Northern Illinois, I think they've rotated their defensive linemen pretty good so far. Cade Haberman just left the field, and then they rotate back in number 1. I think James Esther was already on the field, but they bring in Pierce, Opong. So they've got a lot of players rotating in and out on that front.
Rushing touchdown for Finn last week in Amherst. Big Toledo win over UMass. Kovac runs right into trouble. James Esther stands him up and sends him backwards. 286 pounds of power, the redshirt freshman from Detroit. Numbers so far, Chip.
On the balance, you've gotten some balance from Northern Illinois, even though I think you pointed out about 3 misses from Lombardi. In terms of Toledo, they missed a touchdown pass. Don't forget about that. 4th down, they decided to go for it. That would have been a touchdown. McGee was beaten by Mitchell. So that's something that we need to keep an eye on or remember as this game wears on.
Here's 2nd down. Finn, play fake, pressure off the edge. Daquan Finn on the move. Gets rid of that one. It's out of bounds with a lot of heat. Lance DeVoe, team captain, was providing some pressure.
Well, I think that shows you how fast DeVoe is. I think Finn is one of the faster quarterbacks we've watched, period, in terms of the games we've done over the years. And when you see a guy like DeVoe close that gap, that speaks to his speed.
Passing down, redshirt freshman Jacquez Stewart, feature back here to the left. On Daquan Finn, redshirt freshman from Detroit. Just asked Notre Dame about trying to contain this guy. Stands in the pocket, takes a shot. Winstead lunging, can't make the catch, incomplete. Isaiah Winstead gave it his all, but can't come up with a rock. Punt time for the Rockets.
What a throw by Finn. He's under pressure, getting hit, and look at the placement. I mean, right on the outstretched fingertips of a pretty good player in Winstead. And by the way, Winstead was huge in the Notre Dame game on that final drive, making some tough catches, but it was a good pressure that time by Dylan Thomas. And now we get to see Bailey Flint, a player who I like quite a bit.
2nd in the MAC per punt average, about 43 yards a boot for the senior from Melbourne. We saw him on the field and said, "G'day." Got that accent, man. It's awesome. Richie lets that one go to the end zone for a touchback. Northern gets it at the 20. 52-yard punt for the star from down under. Timeout in Toledo.
Pressure, and that was an outstanding throw, I think, in terms of ball placement with that much pressure coming. Derek Jackson, the defensive coordinator for Northern Illinois, he understands that he's got to be an aggressive coach. That's what he feels like their team plays better. He kind of shared that with us right during the week.
Absolutely. And what a throw from Finn there. I mean, Isaiah Winstead Jr. from Richmond, he's got to come up with that ball.
Yeah,
ask for a better throw.
And it was a tough catch, granted, but boy, that says a lot about everybody in terms of their aggressiveness.
Here's Jay Ducker, gets the carry on 1st down. Northern takes over. And the stop made by Tyson Anderson, team captain from right here in Toledo. He started as a corner and then moved to safety. Coaches Vince Karras, his defensive coordinator, could not say enough good things about Tyson Anderson and how happy they are to have him back in the lineup this week.
Yeah, he's a guy that you like. You're a height, weight, speed guy, David. He's got 33-inch arms, 38-inch vertical, runs 4.4. And
you love watching him in the warm-ups. I saw you. 2nd down.
He made the all-Dave team.
David Chave team.
David Chave team.
Tucker carries 2nd down, looks for the corner, can't get there. Maxon Hook was there, so was Deontay Johnson with a good thumping hit. Really like Maxon Hook. The coaches tell us he's a future captain.
Yeah, he's pretty good in terms of being able to just be inactive, in terms of also getting low on his tackles.
Freshman, New Palestine, Indiana. Got a lot of snaps on the back end. Safety nickel for Toledo. Great young leader for the Rocket defense, says Vince Karras, his coordinator, to us this week. Sets up 3rd and 5. Tucker in motion. Lombardi fakes him, keeps, look out! Rocky Lombardi, 1st down and then some, big pickup. Finally tracked down by Samuel Womack for Toledo. Into plus territory, chains move, Lombardi on the move for Northern. Gain of 28.
Well, when a quarterback run, you're going to run behind your offensive lineman and then your tight end, Tristan Tavis. And you mentioned the main game. In that main game, I believe he ran for over 100 yards.
He did.
So you've got somebody, and I think the quarterback run game in terms of what they can bring into this game, it can be a kind of an offset to their running game and some of their other base plays.
He ran for 119 yards against the Black Bears that day at home of the Cow. 3 touchdowns, including a 64-yard touchdown run. Got some wheels. Ducker's got it, first down. Good carry off left tackle. Judge Culpepper, the Penn State transfer. Son of Brad, former Florida Star, longtime NFL player. And brother Rex played at Syracuse last couple of years as a quarterback.
Yeah, both are really good. That Culpepper name, it stands out. What also stands out is so far, this Northern Illinois offensive line has been better than Toledo's defensive front. And we'll get into that as we go on and through this quarter.
Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Ducker again. Navigates, second level, and some. Big pickup, Northern Illinois. Quinyon Mitchell, the touchdown-saving tackle for Toledo, deep in the secondary. Another Northern first down. They're on the move here.
Yeah, and all week long, that's what I was wanting to see was this matchup. And right now, I'd have to say it's not even close in terms of just coming off the ball, man-on-man blocking. I don't even see a lot of zone blocking scheme. They're going straight man schemes, a lot of the offensive linemen, and they're moving Toledo's defensive front.
Gain of 17. Northern dominant in the game today, but still just a field goal lead for them. Mason Blakemore gets some time. We saw him on the field in warm-ups. Fake Lombardi on that mesh. Keeps off right tackle. Runs into Jonathan Jones, the transfer from Notre Dame, who had a huge game at South Bend. I mean, Toledo, within a minute of winning against the top 10 team, would have been a program-making type victory for the Rockets.
We talked to Jason Candle. He's like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm not taking any moral victories.
No more victories. We should have won.
He said, I don't care about that. We expected to win the game. And I think his last losing season was 2009. So he just doesn't lose a lot.
He's had 1, he told us this week. In his days at Mount Union High School,
Yeah.
at 1 total in his
That's crazy.
great coaching career. 2nd and 10. Ritchie on the shovel. Tyrese Ritchie looks for the edge. Womack runs into him, and then Jones comes in to clean it up. Great pursuit by Toledo's defense.
And one thing that we also mentioned was that now you're back in that red zone again. So for as much as you've dominated in between the 20s running it, you end up going wide on the last play with the speed shovel, good support by Womack. You've got to win now. This is where they've just been stymied. This is where Toledo's defense has said, you may have dominated us between the 20s, but now you're in our territory, the red zone. This is the high red zone right here. And this is where Toledo's defense normally buckles down.
3rd and 11. 3-step drop. Lombardi throws on the sideline. Travis, intended receiver, does gather it. Nice catch along the boundary. Shy of the marker. Needs the 15.
You know they're going to go ahead and push the envelope one more time here. And here come the big guys in. And you also got, I believe, Brett Bostad coming in the lineup, their fullback.
Last play, gain of 10. Trying for it. It looks like on the 4th and short. 4-6 this year, 67%. 4th down attempts. Off the missed field goal. Coach Hammock taking no chances here. On 4th down, big play. Ratkovich navigates, pushing the pile forward. How's that spot look? It's right on. That 3rd effort, I think, got him there. He's got plenty now.
Yeah,
he kept on moving before the whistle and just was going north there, Chase, going forward with those tree trunk legs. We saw him on the field in warm-ups, man. Dude's huge down there.
You're going to squat 600 pounds.
Man.
Let's see it translate to the field. And a really good block by Bostad. We mentioned him coming to the game, number 32. And then you got a linebacker out there as well, number 49, Brock Lamp. He's out there saying, you know what, I want to get involved as well. And he's the one who pulls him. If you play linebacker and get in on offense, make an impact.
So no Ontario Brown here. I haven't seen much of him. Freshman running back. Ducker stays in. On 1st down, here's Ducker. Looks right for some real estate and lunges ahead for about 3. on the first down run.
Well, you know, when they played Michigan late in the game, Ducker got in. And I thought that in those, they were running some of the same pulling schemes we've seen, Dave, today. And he actually showed something. And the yardage totals didn't look great, but I think that they kind of wanted to get him involved. He's about, I don't know, 185, 190 pounds. He's got quick feet.
Here's second down. Here's Ducker again. Demonstrates those quick feet. And Samuel Womack says no. Short gain. Senior from Detroit. Another team captain. A pick against Norfolk State. His first since 2019 and fourth of his great Toledo career. This guy led the MAC and passes broken up last year. And in 2019, the last full season.
Might be a guy that you want to get a matchup with size. So where do you go at this point? And I've seen them in this part of the field from the slot run some fades, but do they roll him out? This is the big opportunity to maybe get him on the edge and throw the football.
Lombardi looks right for room. Johnson says no. So does Hook. With a big shoulder block out of bounds as they make the stop, shy of the yard to gain, which is about the 4 for a first down. Gain of 3 on the run from Lombardi.
And once again, you get some guys out in front. Look at Rakovich. Oh, my goodness. Can we get – did you see the block by Rakovich? I mean, he is depositing. You talked about Kyle Juszczyk. He checked out Max and Hook. That's what he did.
All right, Richardson, we know Doink went off the left upright from 22 last time. Tries here. And he's perfect this time, 2 out of 3. And 8 for 9 on the year for the sophomore from Orland Park, Illinois. Northern Illinois back on the board again, but still a one-score game at the Glass Bowl in Northwest Ohio.
Up after that strong first half.
Off the field goal from John Richardson, his second of the game. Now, bottom line, Toledo could be down by 2-3 scores here. And that one through the end zone over the head of Bryce Mitchell for a touchback. Rockets from the 25. You kind of feel like Toledo's a little lucky at this point.
Well, I think you create your own luck in football. And in their case, it's not about luck when you get in the red zone. When you get into the red zone offensively against Toledo's defense, we've got to stop and give Vince Carey some credit, because that's a mentality, right? You're only going to get 3. Now, on the other end, in terms of their offense, going against Derek Jackson's defense, you got to win some one-on-ones. I think they have to continue to do what Finn did on the last pressure third down. Locate your one-on-one matchups and give your receivers a chance.
Daquan Finn stays out at QB. Jacquez Stewart, feature back here to begin this drive for the Rockets. Forward pitch. Stewart has the grab. Flag flies behind the play. This could come back. Man, some wheels for Jacquez Stewart. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon there for Toledo.
It's 100-meter speed. Miami Northwestern High School. Might have been on Bryce Mitchell outside.
Holding. Offense number 5. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
You are correct, sir.
Well, the reason I said it was on Mitchell, watch him block right here. You want to talk about a kid that blocks? I saw him take a couple of players out in the back of the end zone against Ball State. He is a tremendous blocker. And that's the thing I like about when you play receiver, to get that blocking element makes you want to throw him the ball.
Repeat first down. And wipe out a nice pickup. Stewart, handoff. Met immediately by Nick Ratine. Lost one on the play. So first 3 possessions, not much happening. This game, Chabe, has the same feel as Colorado State.
Yeah,
Toledo.
yeah.
Coming off the Notre Dame near win.
Yep.
They kind of struggled. Well, more than kind of. Lost 16-6 in this stadium.
And a lot of that was late.
Second and long. Finn throws, has a man wide open this time. Something positive with Matt Landers, the Georgia transfer, his second catch of the season. Big pickup. Rockets in the move here, and they got a first down. Gain of 20. Something for the fans to cheer about here. And what otherwise been a tough first half for Toledo. So Finn first down, lots of time. Deep ball, wants Mitchell. Adjust, almost makes the one-handed catch. Gandy on coverage, and flags fly from all directions. Jordan Gandy could be flagged here for PI. Let's find out. A lot of contact downfield, some hand fighting with Mitchell and Gandy.
Yeah, and that's difficult for Gandy in that situation because Mitchell does a good job.
Defense number 14. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Watch Mitchell work back into Gandy. Watch how he works back into him. He drew the flag because he takes his body, he stops his body control, and I'm going to work back into you to try to make the catch, but also draw the flag. And that's you're talking about a receiver with some savvy. I like his body control as well. He's a player that I wish they could get more touches to.
Love that. Good breakdown. Back into the defensive back. Kovac on the move. Brian Kovac will take it to the house. Touchdown, Toledo. There goes the cannon. And there go the fans. Something to cheer about today.
Really good block by Jamal Turner. He also got an excellent block from Tyler Long, number 60. And Kovac can run. Once he gets into the open field, he can finish some long runs. He almost finished one against Notre Dame, 67 yards against them. He finishes off the Huskies.
Thomas Clucky converts on the PAT. 35th career rushing touchdown for Brian Kovac. 5th in Toledo history. And the Rockets are moving. Lift off. Finally, they got some points today. I think Oklahoma's overrated, frankly, and Texas was underrated.
Even Bijan Robinson, did you think he'd have a big game?
No.
Really? Okay.
Rudolph back to receive this kick from Thomas Clucky. The max leader in field goals made entering play today. Caught by Richardson of Northern. A long touchdown run. 40 yards from Kovac. Puts the Rockets on the board. Rudolph watches that go out of bounds for a penalty. Procedure call and comes to the 35-yard line.
Out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Will not make Coach Cannell happy. Kickoff guys out of bounds. Ontario Brown going to come out here, Chabe. We thought we'd see a lot of the freshmen in the first half. We haven't seen much.
Well, I think they've always been a team to rotate their backs, and I think that's important to keep them fresh. And not only just keep them fresh, but kind of continue to give the defense different looks. And they've involved the quarterback in the run game a little bit. I still think they're going to have to stretch this Toledo defense down the field. Going to take some shots. And I think Lombardi has deep ball prowess. Had a poor read early for an interception.
Brown, one of the highest rated recruits in Northern Illinois history, gets the rock here, bounces off some tacklers and heads north before Chris McDonald, a nickelback, makes a good stick in space for the Rockets. 16 carries, 101 yards against EMU last week up in DeKalb. All in the second half when Harrison Whaley got hurt. Whaley not on the trip for Northern Illinois. Was seen in Civvy's second half last week up in DeKalb with a sling. So Northern fans hoping he comes back soon. But not today. Second down. Mesh play. Keep Lombardi. We know he can do this well. First down and then some. Gets the edge. Gets the bump as well from Nate Bauer. Here comes the plus 15. The late hit out of bounds. The personal foul. And some more real estate for Northern Illinois.
We mentioned this quarterback run game, and right there, he's reading Deontay Johnson, number 2.
Play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 6. The 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the run, automatic first down.
It's a 32-yard play. And Bauer, one of the top players in the secondary for Toledo, is going to take a seat here on the bench. You know, when that helmet comes off, the coaches gave him the what for. I'm impressed with Lombardi's wheels.
That was something that they could come and incorporate into the game plan today to throw them off just a bit. They're +1 in the run game.
Automatic first down. Brown carries, slides off right tackle. Samuel Womack some contact to make the play.
That was an excellent cut by Brown. You can see the footwork. on the last play. And it's not a surprise. He went to Beach High School in Georgia. You watched that game a week ago. The lower body you referenced when we were down on the field is a reason why he was an all-state player in that state, which is a very competitive football state.
Picked up 4, first down, gets the rock again between the tackles. And the power game continues here for Northern Illinois, and that gets to the 25. He needs the 20 for a first down. Probably 4-down territory, though, for Thomas Hammock, who likes to roll the dice. We know that based on going for 2 to beat Georgia Tech in the season opener.
Yeah, and I think you bring in Rakovich now, and you also bring in the guy that they talked about getting the ball to more on third down, and that's Fabian McCray, number 0. They've got to have and in this last formation, and you see it up here at the top, they're in a stack look. So you can look for an out route from one of those guys unless one of them goes in motion.
There's the motion. Here's the play. Third down. Lombardi looks left this time for Travis, and it's underthrown. And incomplete.
And that was not a good throw.
Nope, short again. That's been sort of emblematic of his year. Coverage from Justin Clark.
He was trying to reset his feet, and that's just a timing issue. I think that's more about the depth of the route with Messiah Travis. And he says, okay, that's on me. But you know, those types of reps you have to have in practice. Those are timing routes, and the reps extremely important. It's a pretty long field goal here.
From 43, as long this year from 46. That came against Wyoming in the home loss, the Wild shootout. This one is good. Richardson has got 3 field goals. And Northern Illinois has the lead again. 9-7 against the Rockets on homecoming.
A Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted. And by Ram Trucks. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
Some of the all-time greats, Northern Illinois history, including the head coach himself, 2 times 1,000-yard-plus rusher for Thomas Hammock. I thought an interesting statement Chave to us this week in our chat with him. He said, when we lose a game, I lose twice because I'm the head coach and I'm a big fan and alum. And I said to him, well, when you win twice, right? He said, hey, I never thought of that. I'm the fan and the head coach. So, yeah, it's a double deal there if you can win. Coaches take it so hard, man. It's tough.
They do.
3rd field goal, Richardson, a season best to make it 9-7 over the head of Mitchell, and that is another touchback. Rockets get it to 25. Did you like Coach Hammock's Rolodex analogy? And I hope that a lot of the younger listeners out there know what a Rolodex is, but he said that he was concerned with Toledo's Rolodex. There's so many different facets of the game for the Rockets that could beat you.
And I think that was a good description, because if you watch them play even today, you've had a little bit of quarterback run. You've also had some of the gap scheme with Koback in the backfield. You've seen a little spread. You've seen them throw, down the field on some corner routes. So you've kind of seen a diversification, and you would expect that from a Jason Candle-led attack.
Finn stays in the game. Play fake. DeVoe, some pressure off the edge. That pass, Maddox lunging, can't bring it in with Hanson on coverage. And incomplete to 45, and Devin Maddox is slow to get up for Toledo.
And they're covering in man coverage again with the safety. And I thought that might be a matchup they could exploit, and that's Maddox against these safeties. I think he's a very fast player in terms of carrying, and also a person that's fast in his equipment, not just running 40s and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if he can't come back.
Finn, pressure, trouble, gets it off, Koback. Bryant Koback, first down and then some. Koback loose. Got a touchdown already on the ground. Thinking about one through the air. Breaks a tackle, Koback. End zone touchdown, Toledo. What a play for the Rockets. "75 yards.
Well, it all started with the excellent release by Finn while getting hit by Ray Thomas.
Out on the field for a defensive injury.
And then in the open field, Koback, we mentioned it earlier, he almost did this exact same thing against the Fighting Irish, and this goes back years with him. He's been a very productive player, over 1,100 yards in 2019. His receiving skills have gotten better too, Dave, over the years. Look at Finn.
He goes right to his head coach. Watch this. Yeah, Jason Candle. Oh, yeah. Got to elevate a little bit, coach.
We mentioned some of the plays, and you talked about the Rolodex from Hammock when he talked to us, but guess what? The Rolodex includes the screen game. You get a guy up the field like Thomas, they don't recognize the screen, and then he's in the open field, and you don't want Kobach in the open field.
Nick Routine, injured player, sophomore from Palatine, Illinois, former walk-on and captain. 11 tackles against Wyoming a couple weeks back up into Calb. Left arm's hanging regularly for him. So Husky trainers take a look at their starting inside linebacker. And clock in for the PAT after the long screen pass play magic between Finn and Kobach. Clocky's got it.
And we were talking, Dave, it was all about you cannot give up the big plays. Kobach says, I'm a big play waiting to happen.
Old Trapper Beefs, fake protein.
Guys, can we take a quick protein break? Protein City. I got my beans, my bars, my goos, my glumps, my fizz. I don't know what that one is, but you want in?
I'm good, man.
I think Goop was a bad choice.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Student section, every hoop game at Savage Arena. Just a 3 yard away from us here. And these guys, I love the mask. It's a great look. The launch pad student section at the Glass Bowl. Brian Kobach, who 8 times in his career has run for 100 yards. Star running back for Toledo, does it through the air this time. Touchback on the long kickoff again from Thomas Clucky. Kobach's been the story. 2 touchdowns today, Jake.
He has been the story, and they hadn't had the ball past midfield much. And one of the things that we were talking about coming into the game, Dave, and me and you talked about it last night, you've got to stop the chunk plays. That's the 40-plus yard plays. Toledo came into this game in terms of chunk plays. They had 8 plays of 40-plus yards coming into the game. So as a defense, Northern Illinois, if you stop those chunk plays, it'll go a long ways and you win in the game. And that was one of those chunk plays we were referring to.
Got to him today. Yeah, Kobach's done both.
Yeah.
One on the ground, the screenplay. Man, tough to tackle once he got cranking on that run. First down, Lombardi in the offense. Here's Brown. Trouble right away. Johnson got there. Deontay Johnson got hold of a leg and would not let go. Impressive linebacker for Toledo.
He's instinctive. And you can see he just shoots a gap. He gets right by Tavis inside. And he was on the edge that time. They play him actually off the ball as an exchange. Now he's on the edge. Versatile. Got some length.
Pick against UMass last week. It was a good one. 2nd and long. Here's Brown. Looks for the edge. Looks for some real estate. And gets a yard and a half or so. Not much. Timeout call. 1:46 to go in our first half. And IU and Toledo each 2 timeouts.
I'm a little surprised they call that timeout because now you give them an opportunity to come back. And I know this AP Top 10, and you're looking forward to that Alabama and Texas A&M game.
Yeah. AP Top 10, powered by Ram Trucks, Hawks, Penn State. I mean, that is a huge game in the Big Ten.
You're big.
Can't get bigger.
You're big on Iowa, right?
I grew up in Iowa City, so you always have a soft spot for the Hawks.
I'll tell you what, that defense, they're incredible. And I like the corners, Hankins and Moss. And I think they have overall a pretty complete football team. One of the better Iowa teams we've seen in quite some time. But Penn State and Sean Clifford over 70% passing on the year. 3rd and 8, this is danger zone to me for Northern Illinois. You got to get a first down or you risk giving the ball back to Toledo before the end of the half, and they get the ball first in the second half.
Radkovich, a shift, 3rd and long. Lombardi climbs the pocket. Trayvon Rudolph has the catch. Rudolph bumped out of bounds. Gets to the 45, chain mover, important play.
Huge, huge.
For Northern, Quinyon Mitchell on the defensive play and the stop for Toledo, gain of 18.
That was the biggest play of the game to me so far. He's missed a lot of throws. He doesn't miss this one. He's wide open, but if nothing else, now you can at least hold this ball until the end of the half, which really stops them from getting the ball back. That's as much as what you're thinking right now if you're Thomas Hammock as anything else.
Keep it 14-9, right at the very least. Torrey in motion. Here's Brown, a freshman, churning through traffic. Wow! Tyson Anderson, team captain Toledo, finally makes the play. Gain of 9, though, for Ontario Brown.
Well, you do still have 2 timeouts left, though, so you have some options here. And if you look at what they've done on this drive, that allows them to run it those 2 timeouts. I think they can speed up the pace enough now. They've got it in the range where you've got that 9 yards on first down with the carry. You can throw it on this down now.
Trying to get in the range of Richardson, who's hit 3 today. Lombardi, here comes Jones with the pressure. The big hit, but Lombardi delivers the pass. Tyrese Ritchie the catch. Going to be wrestled down by how many Rockets? Never did get him down. First down, big play for Northern.
Good route. You see him come out of the route, the curl. Good break by Womack, and here's the hit. Coming up after that. Oh, menace. A menace by Jonathan Jones with the. One thing we don't have to worry about with Rocky Lombardi, we don't have to worry about toughness. He's got that in spades. I tell you, he's a tough customer.
Former All-State wrestler, state of Iowa. If you do that in Iowa, you're good. First down, no doubt about it. Ontario Brown, a seam, look out, here goes the freshman. Bauer can't find him. Brown's gonna find the end zone, touchdown Northern Illinois. Big late first half score for the Huskies.
What a drive. And the cut by him. He beats Nate Bauer one-on-one in the open field. Good effort by Jamal Hines, but it was the inside blocks. He cut off the block, I believe, in number 58, Braden Patton. That's what enabled him to get it home.
Richardson's had a busy day today. Three for 4 on field goals. A PAT. Perfect this year in that department. 16-14. We go back and forth. Coach Hammock's Huskies back on top.
And the low center of gravity. I remember when we were down on the field before the game, you were talking about his build. He's built low to the ground. And if you're not, really to me, not only is he built low to the ground, he has the ability, I think, to play at a speed where he's got a forward center of gravity. He's really, and I think that helps him a lot as a runner.
Replacing Harrison Whaley, out injured. The super freshman, can you call him that? After COVID last year from Johnston, Iowa, Mac's leading rusher last year and this year, who ran for 114 yards against Toledo a year ago in Jason Candle. In a pretty good game won by the Rockets up in DeKalb.
The 2 early season tests for these teams, Michigan's, the Notre Dames, even the Colorado State being a physical team. These 2 teams are good football teams here earlier in October, and I think this bodes well for Maction moving forward.
Over the head of Bryce Mitchell again. It's another touchback. Richardson has given the Rocket return game on kickoff no chance all day so far.
36 seconds to go. Are you aggressive if you're Jason Candle? I don't know what him and Robert Weiner are talking about in terms of like maybe how they're going to attack this last part of the half. I say you got to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that you get the ball first in the second half.
In other words, victory formation, take a knee?
No, I say no.
You want to go for it?
Yeah, I'm talking about taking some shots down the field. Absolutely, and maybe build even more confidence for Finn. Sure, the screen was great, but he had a better throw. I thought he missed early with the receiver, Isaiah Winstead.
Double shift. Jamal Turner, Toledo tight end. Winstead in motion. Finn keeps. Not much there.
71, Finn, the quarterback keeper.
I guess they decided to go the other route, Dave. They're just going to run it and get out of the half. They only had 1 timeout left. And
Give them 4. Clock ticks here, 15 to go in the fading second quarter clock from Toledo. Kobach carries. Could be the last play of the first half. Rumbles ahead. Gets 2 shy of the marker. That'll do it for the opening 30. From here in Toledo, it's Maction, high noon style, CBS Sports Network. Huskies by 2. End of the first half, 16-14, Northern Illinois leads Toledo. After the break, Adam Zucker and the gang in New York. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. He's a 2-point lead at the break. Welcome back to the Glass Bowl in Toledo. Dave Ryan alongside college football expert, former NFL star, defensive back. Come on, many things. Corey Chavis, first half, 193 rushing yards for Northern Illinois. And we talked about how important first down rush defense would be for Toledo. They got to flip the script in the second half, or the Huskies might run all over the Rockets.
Yeah, you make an excellent point, because 5.2 yards per carry on first down, a little bit of a jaded figure, because a big run late in the half, Dave, was what allowed that figure to jump back up. But Toledo's defense has still been impressive in the red zone.
All right, let's check the highlights. Break it down for us, Jay, in the first half.
Well, the Quan fan, they say, no way, we're going to actually snap it to Ryan Kobach. And if you're going for a record, here it goes. And this guy is just electric in the open field. This time the screen, Northern Illinois, they try to read out of it. Watch him follow his blockers down the field. Kobach tremendous in space and getting maximum effort from his offensive lineman. Ontario Brown says, what you can do, I can do as well, and scores late in the half to put Northern Illinois on top, 16-14, as we head into what we hope will match, Dave, that first half.
Ready to go for half number 2, Corey. Sun-splashed afternoon, Northwest Ohio here in Toledo. And Northern with John Richardson. Outstanding the first half, kicking field goals. We'll kick it off. Bryce Mitchell has not had much of an opportunity to return any kickoffs today from Richardson. Ryan Kobach, huge first half. Toledo, 2 touchdowns. Mitchell going to get a chance here from the 4. Here comes the speedy Rocket receiver. Looks for the edge, more real estate. Whoa! Gets aggressive with a stiff arm, more like a punch to the nose on the kick return. Wow! Armidas, first half stats. Corey, the numbers we talked about a moment ago, Chaim. 193 rushing yards for Northern Illinois, such a big key in the opening 30 minutes.
Incredible in terms of the efficiency of their run game at times in that first half.
So you were coming down. Got an interesting boost setup here a moment ago. Watch Bryce Mitchell on this. Is this a stiff arm shave or a punch to the chops? Watch this. We'll get to it. It was pretty special. Kobach, Winstead has the catch, and is wrapped up by several Huskies right away. It's a gain of 1 there for Isaiah Winstead. Trust me when I tell you, it was like a punch, not a stiff arm.
Yeah, I saw it when I was.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
You were coming down, getting off your mic and go to the headset.
I was a little upset I couldn't see it all the way live. I saw the end of it.
You would have reacted.
Oh, man.
Emotionally. Let's put it that way.
Yes, yeah. I kind of felt it from you.
Second down to 1-yard pickup. Vince starts the game second half here. Toledo throws. Has his man. Catch made, McKinley Lewis. It's a chain mover for Toledo. Denzel McKinley Lewis, a senior from Pittsburgh. He's one of the top targets for Toledo. He's got 9 catches this year. Gain of 14, first down for the Rockets. Empty backfield. Finn wants the deep ball, wants Winstead. He and Gandy going head-to-head. Flag flies late. And a pass interference call is coming against Jordan Gandy.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. 15-yard automatic first down.
Yeah, but these corners, when you give up these pass interference penalties, you can't let it discourage you, I don't think, as much in college football. Because if you think you're out of position and you're only going to give up 15 yards, they're probably taught to take some of those. I thought he was in good position, though.
Here's Kovac on first down, looks for the edge. Miles McGee cuts him down after he picks up a few. Kovac over 3,000 career rushing yards with his effort here today. Gets 3 on the first down run.
Good job outside, Vitaly Gurman. He goes outside and makes a pretty good block. They've got some versatile interior offensive linemen. Bryce Harris, the veteran center, who I think is one of the better centers in the MAC. And Gurman, an NFL prospect.
Kovac split out, now joins Finn in the backfield. 8th all-time rushing Toledo history. Brian Kovac's a good one. Mesh play. Finn will keep this time. Hansen bumps him with a shoulder. Doesn't bring him down, though. Jordan Hansen had the first contact safety spot, Northern Illinois.
I watched number 6, Cody Brown, and this is kind of closing the alley up and finishing off that tackle. Excellent effort by Hansen, who's been, at times, he's had some missed tackles. They felt he tackled better a week ago. 8 tackles against Eastern Michigan. They asked him to play a lot to the wide side of the field. In fact, you can see him on this play covering down over Drew Rossi, number 89. As they motion in, he comes back with Rossi in motion.
3rd and 8, short field, pistol look. Finn throws and overthrows Maddox, or maybe miscommunication there with Brown on coverage. So incomplete. Jason Candle now inside the 40 decision time.
Well, I think in this situation, you go ahead and punt the football. 4th down and 8. This is where they've kind of had some success on you in some of your long yardage situations that you know is a pass. You wonder whether Derek Jackson is going to bring some pressure on this down. You can see some guys up in the front 7. Let's see if they bring the pressure here, Dave.
All right, big early play, 3rd quarter, 4th down. Finn, some pressure, lets that one go. Mitchell was turned the wrong way. It's incomplete. With McGee on coverage. Lots of heat in the backfield. And on downs, the Huskies get the football back.
What a call by Derek Jackson. You're not going to dictate terms to me. I'll dictate them to you, even if it's 4th and 8. How many times do you see zone being played? Even if the receiver is wide open, it doesn't matter if the quarterback can't get him the ball.
Look at a play we loved, brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Bryce Mitchell, say hello to Billy Dozier. Stiff arm, stiff punch. What do you call this? Oh, get out of here.
Let me ask you a question, Dave.
Yes.
In that case, is the defensive player compromised in terms of player safety?
Yes.
Because I think everybody goes crazy on that end. And we talk so much about player safety. I think it's a fair question in that case. Is that legal, that action? I mean, it's one thing to stiff arm, but you kind of get a little bit of a punch almost with the stiff arm underneath the guy's neck. It snaps back.
Agreed.
And by the way, you know I don't have any problem with it. I love Mitchell's aggressiveness. You heard me talk about him as a blocker earlier, but my point being, college football has made such of an emphasis on player safety. And that's really what we've seen emphasized the last 4 or 5 years. I think that's something they have to look at this offseason a little bit.
That was Ritchie on the short or no gain. First down play for Northern Illinois. Feature back is Brown. Got 83 rushing yards, including the 37-yard scamper for a touchdown in the first half. And here's a freshman from Georgia. Carries, runs into Jonathan Jones. Deontay Johnson and company. They say, you will go no further, sir. Maybe a half a yard. 3rd and long.
The initial penetration by Desjuan Johnson. Very quick player. They can move him up and down the line, number 99. And along with some of these other linebackers who are so just versatile in what they can do, it's really provided on these types of 3rd downs, not really knowing who's the pressure element, the 5th or 6th rusher. On this play, you see Deontay Johnson, number 2, moving around, and also number 30, Jonathan Jones.
Huskies 4 for 9 shape, 3rd downs so far in this game today. 35% on the year. Screen play, Rudolph, no. Hines was there immediately. Jamal Hines gets there with a ferocious tackle, forcing a punt.
When they drop Hines, Hines is normally rushing. Remember, that was 3rd down and 8 or whatever it was, and he's dropping into the flats. I think that's kind of what we're talking about. It's not just that these guys are moving around. They're doing different jobs on different plays in their 3rd down pressure packages. So sometimes what Vince Karras will do is he'll take his defensive ends or outside linebackers and drop them to the flats and rush his linebackers inside.
First punt of the game for Matt Ferentz. Star punter for NIU, Devin Maddox back to receive at the 15. Here's Maddox. We know he's got the wheels. Makes a cut. Maddox almost took it. And was stopped at about the 45-yard line by Gandy on punt coverage. Jordan Gandy. Big play, otherwise Maddox might still be running. There is a flag down. Hang on. 29-yard return, 47-yard punt.
Sideline warning, Northern Illinois. This is just a warning, there is no yardage enforcement. First down, Toledo. Timeout on the field.
Tim O'Day, our referee today, Matt Crew. The explanation. Good game today at the Glass Bowl. Much taking the lion's share of snaps since the beginning of the game, Chip.
Yeah, he has. I think that this is a two-headed quarterback system. That's really the way I look at it. You watch the Notre Dame drive at the end of that game. You watch last week's game. Finn comes in, runs a 70-yard touchdown against Ball State or a couple weeks back. I just think it's a two-headed monster, and they're comfortable with it.
So Carter Bradley back on the field. Go back. Goes out for a pass. That throw delivered. Dime. Perfect. Juwan Newton, the catch at the 41. As he lunges and makes the grab. First down, Rockets. Redshirt freshman, St. Petersburg, Florida. Some heat.
Yeah, what a hit that time by Miles McGee.
Corner blitz. First down. Bradley. Newton again delivers. And McGee wrestles him out of bounds. About 9 on the first down play.
And on some throws, Bradley is textbook. I think that was a perfect example. The last one gets to the top of the drop, releases it before the receiver gets out of the break, and the ball is right there for him when he turns around. He's a tough quarterback. They made some very big throws in some of their late game situations even this year.
Was enough for a first down. Play fake to Kovac. Bradley rolls left on the move. Deep ball. Looks for Maddox, incomplete. With Hanson on coverage in the end zone.
And that's the matchup you want to get him against. Maddox versus one of their safeties one-on-one. You got an opportunity. Look at the separation. It's not even close. You're talking about 4 or 5 yards. You might want to take an extra step to set up, and Bradley knows it. He knows he missed that one, and that's you dream of those during the week.
Empty backfield on second down. Bradley, deep shot again. Winstead, not this time with Gandy on coverage. It's incomplete on the go route.
Now you're talking about a situation where 3rd down and 10, and where does he kind of look for his matchup now? He's going to back. He's worked the inside portion of the field. That time he decided to go back outside and try Gandy. But I think working in the middle of the field on some crossing routes, I think that might be the formula here on 3rd down and 10.
It'll be 4 down territory for Toledo. Here comes the pressure. Blitz coming. Rossi by himself. Drew Rossi can't make the catch. With Hanson on coverage, incomplete. Another miss for Carter Bradley and the Toledo offense. They schemed it up right, Jay, just could not connect.
Well, nobody covered Rossi, and I don't think that was necessarily a bad throw. Even if you got to leave your feet on that attempt to make the catch, it with Rossi, possibly do that. But decent touch on this pass and just right over the outstretched hand. You got to catch that football. I'm sorry. I'm not putting that one on Bradley at all.
Thomas Cluckey from 48. And this one is wide, no good. Had been perfect. led the MAC, 8 made field goals this year, but a miss this time. The sophomore from here in the state of Ohio. NIU holds, still 16-14.
But, Dave, you don't get many more wide open opportunities than this. There's nobody out here. And essentially, you'll see man coverage across the board. Nobody covers a tight end. I mean, have you ever seen somebody more wide open? And in that case, there was some motion, some miscommunication on the Northern Illinois defense. And if you're Carter Bradley, he's on the sidelines. He can't believe it, really, because that was just, here you go. He gave you a free pass, wide open tight end, and he can't quite come up with the catch.
Each quarterback for Toledo, Finn and Bradley, 5 for 10 through the air. Passing game, for the most part, has struggled. Lombardi and the Husky offense back in the field. Ontario Brown, the freshman from Georgia, navigates. Picks up about 3 on first down.
Those are really the first plays past midfield for Toledo in this game. In the first half, I believe Northern Illinois had 30 plays past midfield. Toledo maybe had 1, according to our great stats person, Rick Weiner. And I think that Dr. Rick Weiner, by the way, I don't want to leave.
Don't leave out the doctor.
Leave out the doctor. But, so that was encouraging to see them across midfield. Not an encouraging end, however, with the missed opportunity.
Shift for the tight end, Tavis. Brown carries, second down. Johnson finds him pretty fast, along with Zachary Ford. Deontay Johnson, the 4-2-5 defensive setup for coordinator Vince Karras in Toledo. Sets up third down again for Northern Illinois. Trying to stay on the field.
One guy they haven't involved on third down in the passing game so far, Rhino, is Rakovich, number 25. Now, I know he's in the dot position now. They have some misdirection where they can get him out into the flats. Make Toledo cover Rakovich.
Here's third down. Lombardi looks for his ace. Trying to get that to Tyrese Ritchie, but misfires again. Samuel Womack on coverage for Toledo. A quick 3-and-out for Northern Illinois. Yeah, good chat this week with the QB for Northern Illinois. He talked about the accuracy. Trying to increase the completion percentage, which at 57% is very low. No doubt about that.
Well, some of them are not even on the same page in terms of the communicative nature with the receiver.
Matt Ferentz, record-setting punter for NIU, punts to Maddox, who makes the fair catch at the 31. Flags are down. Got 3. 34-yard punt. Ferentz has racked up 12,023 miles of punts in his great.
You got about as many Delta Sky Miles, by the way.
More than that, thankfully. Million miler here, everyone. Senior from St. Louis, Matt Ferentz, tremendous punter. He's going for his 3rd degree, by the way, at NIU. That's impressive academic prowess there.
During the kick, holding, receiving team. The 10-yard penalty had been forced from the end of the kick. First down.
All right, Javar Geico, difference makers for today. Let's check in with Brian Koback from Toledo.
Well, certainly a difference maker. A 75-yard touchdown on a screen and 8 carries, 57 yards. I think he's done exactly what you would expect from, I guess, the star-studded back. And Ontario Brown, I believe Ontario Brown's going to be big here in the second half if Northern Illinois is going to come out on top. Kind of getting back into the rhythm they established with him late in the first half.
Northern Illinois, Brown's offense, 2 straight 3-and-outs. And the officials confer and will back up the Rockets 10 on that penalty. On the punt return, the fair catch from Maddox. So about the 21 is where Carter Bradley, the offense, will start off. Let's face it, Bradley had 3 great chances last drive to cash in through open receivers, could not connect. And no points for Toledo on the missed field goal. Here's first down. Run play from Micah Kelly, gets a touch, rumbles ahead for a good pickup. Freshman from Mississippi picks up 6. He had a touchdown against UMass last week in that route for Toledo, non-conference win in Amherst against the Minutemen.
He actually had 72 yards and a touchdown in 2020 against Northern Illinois, and that probably showed up on film during the week.
Here's second down. Carries again. Ratine the first to get to him. That spot looks pretty good, though. But Micah Kelly picks up 4. Should be a rocket first down. Chain mover for Toledo.
I like the way this Northern Illinois defensive line, you had the screen pass and a couple of big runs, but they've had a lot of, I would say, positive plays. It starts with Ray Thomas, also James Esther. He's played well, but I think Haberman, number 59, Cade Haberman, he's come in the game and also giving them some productive reps.
First down. See the Rockets take a shot here. Play fake. Bradley can't connect. Instead, intended receiver near midfield.
What a debut for Miles McGee, number 13, the freshman. Here he is in coverage again. Bradley comes back, and it's McGee getting work by Winstead. They didn't know much about whether McGee will be available until a week ago. Had some big plays in that game against Eastern Michigan. And they said it's time for the call-up, so to speak. And this week getting a lot of playing time. He's earned it.
Laquan Finn, the rushing threat for Toledo, returns at QB. Hands off for Kelly. Micah Kelly breaks a tackle. One Husky away from taking it to the house. Big run for Toledo. Micah Kelly showing up here, picks up 10 and a first down for the Rockets.
Well, he steps through a tackle, I believe, of McGee. Excellent block outside by Tyler Long. Steps through that tackle. As a corner, you got to do more than just cover. And Micah Kelly says, you got to tackle me.
Not easy to do, apparently. Bradley's right back in. Returns at QB. Play fake. Carter Bradley throws. Isaiah Winstead. Intended receiver with McGee on coverage. And afterwards, a little rough stuff going on there.
Yeah, between Rossi and Dylan Thomas. They're getting to meet each other up close and personal.
Thomas, a huge game last week against Eastern Michigan. He was amazing. Mac West, Defensive Player of the Week, 2 sacks. Second half against the Eagles. You got to know Ben Bryant of Eastern Michigan very well, didn't he?
He was replacing
him up close and personal.
He was replacing another Dave.
Daverin Rayner.
Yeah. You've been waiting to say that all
Looks
week.
like Dave Ryan. So he's not on the trip, unfortunately, for Northern. But
you were waiting to say his name. I had to get it in there for you.
I appreciate that. Here's Rossi in motion on second down. Bradley looks right, then goes left. Koback on the screen. Flags are down behind the play. And Lance DeVoe, senior captain linebacker, makes the stop for Northern. Let's check out the marker to the backfield.
Yeah, I think Nick Ratine says, I think they held me. And that would probably be the only way that this would be coming back. Number 30.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
Bryce Harris, senior captain. All 5 captains for Jason Candle's team back from the 2020 abbreviated season. Truncated 6-game schedule. Rockets went 4-2. Northern Illinois went 0-6. Toledo opted not to play in a bowl game. Only 2 MAC teams played in a bowl game last year. Buffalo and the champs, Ball State. That's all the pass now, thankfully. 2nd and 20. Off the holding call. Bradley delivers. Hanson, the tackle on Devin Maddox at about the 41. Pick up a 10. Close to that original line of scrimmage, Corey.
This is an excellent throw from the far hash by Bradley. Steps into it, and I think it's even better coverage by Hanson. He's got to cover so much ground because they have him they align him to the wide side of the field. Toledo knows that. So now on 3rd down and 10, he's in the same situation. A lot of isolation for Hanson week to week.
Here's 3rd down. Here comes some pressure. Bradley hit as he throws. Lots of heat in the backfield. James Esther was all over him. And Carter Bradley staggers a bit trying to get up. It's incomplete. Ball intended for Matt Landers.
Inside, number 1, watch him. Esther gets right around Bryce Harris, the guy you just talked about a second ago. And that move, he gives him the head and shoulder fake, and then he gets around him with the quickness. One of the more disruptive players, another player from Cass Tech High School up there in Michigan, and that's one of the big stomping grounds for football in the Midwest. And he's just yet another prospect from there.
From Pro Kick Australia program, Bailey Flint punts. Tyrese Ritchie lost in the sun for a second there, regains and gets pounded. The ball might have come out there at the end before Ritchie was down. There goes a beanbag. It was fumbled. Now who's got it is the question. Ritchie Chave had some trouble looking up and finding the ball for a moment. It looks like Northern got back on it. They do have the football deep in their own end. That would have been a disaster. Mason Blakemore jumped on that one.
Ruling on the
Northern
field,
Illinois.
fumble recovery, Northern Illinois.
Back here at the Glass Bowl, nothing like a high noon showdown in MAC play. Good football game so far, one-score game. Nationally, a lot of big things happening today, including the Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas. 38-20 is the count right now for the Horns and Sark. You know, I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. Look at that one. Kinnick Stadium today. That is a Big Ten showdown. Cincinnati beat Temple badly last night. I want to ask you about Cincinnati and the college football playoff after this play. It's Ontario Brown. Stopped after a short gain. Do you think Cincinnati? Yes. That was a very quick yes. Beat Indiana, of course beat Notre Dame, crushed Temple last night. Should they be considered, if they run the table, win the American Conference Championship for the college football playoff?
Okay, I'm glad we brought this up. Okay, who do you think is the best team in college football right now?
I think Georgia, as I said last week, is by far the best team in the country.
Well, I knew you were gonna. Well, I didn't know you were gonna say it, but I thought you were gonna say it.
Okay.
And who did they play in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl last year?
Hang on. Whistles first before the play.
You got some time now.
I don't know. You got to give me that one. I don't know.
Cincinnati,
Okay.
22-21, and won on a last-second field goal. That's the reason why Cincinnati deserves to be in that conversation.
Okay, I'm up. 5 more minutes. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
With FanDuel Fantasy, if you get your lineup just right, you can make season-long wins without the season-long waits. FanDuel Fantasy. New customers get up to a $500 bonus on your first deposit. FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Rudolph's got the catch. Jones has got him with a thumping tackle. Off the timeout called by Northern to avoid a delay of game. Never want to use those timeouts too early, Chave. It's a one-score game here.
I agree with you, Dave. I don't know that, particularly because the offense is stagnated so much at specific intervals during this game. They've gotten to 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, haven't always been able to cash home. I think this is an important 3rd down right here. And I'm going right back to the air. You think about a run here. This is a front I wouldn't run against from Toledo right here.
Huskies 4 for 11. 3rd downs. Here's Brown. Navigates. Looks for room. Desjuan Johnson has got him close to the marker. There is a flag down at the 27-yard line.
Might be against Toledo. The outside.
Tim O'Day, engineer from Hastings, Nebraska.
One of the things we talked about
today
was penalties in Toledo.
The result of the play was a first down. Second sideline warning, Northern Illinois. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot. 1st and 10, Northern Illinois.
Where's the get-back coach? You got to have one, Jay, am I right?
Yeah, you do it. And I don't know who it is for Northern Illinois, but he's going to get fined during the week.
Push-ups.
Oh,
it's all
man.
about push-ups. Second time, that's rare. I don't think I've ever seen 2 in a game. You get 1, that's pretty common, but 2 sideline warning infractions gives you a 5-yard penalty.
sometimes it's when you're out of the coach's area that you're designated to be in, and that's where the penalty comes from.
So you back them up 5.
The first down obviously counts as after the first down, but
never seen that call enforced. It's first time Jay for everything. There you go. It is a first down. They do lose 5 yards. The second sideline infraction of the game for Northern. Here we go. Ontario Brown, the carry again. Freshman stays busy, runs into trouble. Justin Clark, corner for Toledo, got there with a really nice wrap tackle.
Yeah, Clark, he's come back from a shoulder injury, and they feel like he's played a little bit better. When you start talking about tackling, your shoulders are involved. And I think that's the big thing for him, was getting the confidence back. They've seen some flashes even a week ago or 2 weeks ago against Ball State, defending a back shoulder fade down in the red zone, playing better football.
On second down, Tyrese Ritchie the catch. Tackle combo, Tyson Anderson and Justin Clark, the junior from Pontiac, right outside Detroit. We're about an hour south of Detroit here in Toledo. It's a gain of 11 and a first down. So Detroit is a fertile recruiting ground, to be sure, for Toledo's coaching staff.
Well, Deontay Johnson, he's your linebacker, number 2. He's from Cass Tech. We mentioned some of the other guys that on both teams that were from that area. You're exactly right, Dave. Detroit, you're in the mix in Detroit if you're at Toledo.
Rocky Lombardi, the great name, no relation to Vince. Here's first down. Ontario Brown, the carry. Maxon Hook first to get there with some contact from his defensive back spot. And we had a nice chat with Rocky, as we talked about. And he said growing up, huge Brett Favre fan. Now, Aaron Rodgers fan. So no relation to Vince Lombardi, but he's a big Packer guy. Likes to follow those guys pretty closely.
I'll tell you what, he looked like Aaron Rodgers last year against Michigan, playing for Michigan State. 323 yards passing in that game. And I thought some of the best fades or down the field throws that you could see. That game, you thought he was going to take the next step. He kind of struggled after that game. And that's a big reason why he's here at Northern Illinois.
Had 3 touchdowns in that game, was the national quarterback of the week. Beat the Wolverines, the big house. Here's second down. Brown stays busy again. Tyson Anderson busy too, with a really nice tackle in space. 3 more yards as Brown gets close to 100 for the game. So it'll be 2 games in his Northern career and 2 100-yard rushing efforts for Ontario Brown.
That's an excellent tackle by Anderson. You don't make that tackle, he's off to the races. And I think this Toledo team, they need their fans to kind of get into it a little bit here. I think that's what they're kind of imploring when you see some of them on the field. But if I'm Northern Illinois, we still have control of the game. We're at the end of the third quarter. Now is when I run it again. I'm going right off tackle. I'm running to my offense's left.
Let's see. Brown runs right. Tyson Anderson upends him, along with Terrence Taylor. Short of the yard to gain, needed a 40, gain of 2 in the final moments of the third quarter. Rocky Lombardi is holding 4 fingers up in the air, thinking about the fourth quarter.
They got it to the fourth quarter. That was a big deal. If you get it to the fourth quarter, neither team scored in the third. This is what Northern Illinois wanted, a fourth quarter game.
3 in the books, 1 to come. 16-14 game. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. All right, Chris, take a look at the Liberty Mutual Insurance game summary and break down the numbers. Wow, look at that TOP, time of possession for the Huskies.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. If you're a Huskies fan, it couldn't be any better. And this is an opportunity to extend that here on 4th down and 2. We're up here talking between the quarters about the heavy personnel that Northern Illinois has employed here late in the third quarter going into the fourth. You're talking about offensive linemen at tight end, multiple offensive linemen in the game. And now they're going to come up and try to quick snap it potentially.
Going for it. Big play. 4th down, beginning of the 4th quarter. Here comes a shift with lots of personnel. Lombardi over center. Maybe trying to draw the Rockets offside. Oh, direct snap. Radkovic, who's got it, who plows forward. That spot looks good for a 1st down. Sure fooled the play-by-play guy. I thought they were going to go for the punt. Instead, Radkovic, the wild husky.
Marsh Lombardi, the actor. I'm out. I forget about it. No, Radkovic, I'm going to follow behind number 9, Mohamed Toure, and my big men up front. Incredible short yardage runner. He's been very effective in that role.
The ruling on the field on the previous play is an advance of the 1st down, or a line to gain for a 1st down. That ruling is under review.
All right, take a look at the spot. The first spot from the official, the far side who had that call, was he had it by a good half yard. Called a 1st down on the field, but it is reviewable. Love the acting job by Lombardi.
That was a good call by this
future in Hollywood.
And I think it's the tackle right there with Deontay Johnson. He had a chance. He kind of snuck through that tackle, that low tackle attempt from Johnson. You see him sneak through it? And then that allows him to get and lean into that 40-yard line. You get it to that 40 or just across it, it's a 1st down. I think Patton thinks it is. Look at him holding up the 1st down signal.
Love the versatility of Clint Radkovic.
Oh, man.
You were excited about him all week, Jay, for good reason.
Absolutely. 34.5-inch vertical. I just like players who can do a lot of different things on the field. And again, this acting job.
The ruling on the field, the 1st down is confirmed. 1st down, Northern Illinois.
That's kind of what this game has been about, though, right? It's been about the physical play of this Northern Illinois offensive line against a pretty good defensive front, I think, from Toledo.
Good chat with Radkovic this week. He came to Northern Illinois as a walk-on. Now he's a captain. Now he's on scholarship. And he talked about the team chemistry. We were asking him, you know, with the transfer portal, how do you get team chemistry established? And he said, we've got it here. The guys really love each other. It's a real bond with the Huskies this year. Beat Georgia Tech, drummed by Michigan, but didn't fall apart. A heartbreaker against Wyoming. Desjuan Johnson is in the backfield in a hurry, and Brown loses 2.
Well, if they don't win this game after controlling time of possession, it'll be because of plays like this. Desjuan Johnson says, I've had enough. And he gets up and he lets everybody know, I'm still in the game. So they're going to some of these condensed formations, and now Northern Illinois counters by beginning to shoot some gaps. Or Toledo counters by shooting gaps.
The 11th play of the drive. Starting the 3rd, continues in the 4th here for Northern. Tucker, the feature back. Travis has the catch. Flag flies. Check out the marker. Justin Clark has Messiah Travis. So gain of 7 if it stands. Let's check out the call. Flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage.
Ineligible man downfield. Offense number 3 was in formation, covered by the split end, and went downfield on a legal forward pass. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
Tyrese Ritchie, star wide receiver for Northern Illinois. Penalties a major issue for Toledo this year. One of the worst in the country. Northern's half the penalty yards per game, but they've struggled with flags so far here today.
Well, that was as simple as just not letting the linesman know you're off the ball.
Play fake to Ducker. The pump, the deep ball, looking for Travis, and again, Justin Clark on coverage incomplete on the double move.
And they need a little bit more out of Travis. I think as the year goes on, he's shown some stuff at times. He's been actually pretty good on special teams as well. Some tackles against Georgia Tech in that game, but they're going to need more from him as a receiver, making some plays down the field to complement Rudolph and also Ritchie.
Redshirt freshman from Chicago, got some real wheels. Eric Eidsness, offensive coordinator, told us this week. 3rd down and long. 17 to go for the Huskies. Lombardi, pressure off the edge. Delivers, almost intercepted. Maxon Hook had a couple hooks on it, but couldn't bring it in. The outstanding freshman defensive back going for his first career pick.
Oh, this is not a good read by Lombardi. They're playing some cover 2, which is a 2-deep zone, and you see Clark underneath, and then Hook come over the top, and that's letting the fish get off of the hook.
Oh.
If you I don't know if you've ever done that. You're down in Tampa, so I'm sure you go fishing a lot. If you got that bass on the line, you better keep him and reel him in.
Matt Ferentz punts. Maddox wants a fair catch and makes it outside the 30. So Toledo, in a one-score game, in a scoreless second half, gets it back. Who wants this football game today? It's Maction on CBS Sports Network.
Draw. If I'm Northern Illinois, I'm talking quarterback draw. Just had an incomplete pass on 3rd down and 5. You have to account for his legs on this down.
0 for 2 so far. 4th down tries. Huskies are 2 for 4 on 4th. 4th and 6 here in a short field. Big play. Here's Finn. Here comes the pressure. Gets the pass off to Maddox. Hansen comes up and delivers a huge hit. Jordan Hansen, the tackle on Maddox, and on downs again. Northern Illinois takes over. It's a loss of 2.
Derek Jackson has dialed it up all afternoon, and his players have definitely delivered.
At 3-2, Northern Illinois off to its best start since 2017. That team under Rod Carey went 8-5, lost to Duke in the Quick Lane Bowl up in Detroit, not too far from here. Welcome back, Dave and Corey. So you get the feeling that Coach Hammock's got that bowl-type team developing in Northern Illinois. This is a big step to get back toward that excellence today, try to win on the road against Toledo.
Yeah, and I think what Derek Jackson has done in concert with his offensive coordinator, Eric Eidsness, they've kind of coached together on their terms in terms of managing the game. For Toledo, they haven't been able to really be successful against some of the 3rd down pressure packages that they've seen. And this is really for Northern Illinois. Can they get past their own 40-yard line? 30 times past midfield in the first half. They haven't been past their own 40 once in the second.
Off the good defensive stand, Tyrese Ritchie has the catch. And trucks ahead, eventually stopped by Jamal Hines, defensive end for Toledo. But a good pickup. Another 4th down stop for the Husky defense, creating some more chances.
Now this is an extended handoff, and you get some more blocks outside. Again, Tavis outside making a space block. That picks up. That's almost like a run on 1st down to me, picking up 8.
Ontario Brown, 3 yards shy of 100. Carries here. Let's see if we can get it. Hines says no. And Deontay Johnson both there as they combine on the tackle of the freshman for Northern Illinois.
That's a huge play. And to put them in this 3rd down and 2 or 3. Now that's still potentially, you got a 4th down potential opportunity coming up. They may be thinking 2 plays here instead of 1. But in a 1-score game in the 4th quarter, I'm going to play the field position game if I don't get the 1st down right here, Northern Illinois.
Heavy set. Brett posts that in. Fullback. Think and run.
Ratkovich in the Wild
Husky. Yeah, we've seen this before. Been successful. The Wild Husky. On 3rd down. Up the middle. Ratkovich plows through traffic. Needs the 46. He's about half a yard shy, it looks like, with that initial spot. There is a flag down in the backfield. It's a big call here.
Yeah, it is. It's like they're going to go against Toledo potentially here.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, defense, number 99. A 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
Wow, it's a big one. Desjuan Johnson, the junior from Detroit, at 255 pounds down low. That is a big plus 15 on that call.
Well, you've seen a lot of these types of penalties from Toledo this year. You've had face mask penalties. You really had some penalties like after the snap, another post-snap penalty here. And when you're averaging 10 penalties a game, and that's something that you've got double-digit penalties in 4 out of the 5 games you played, Jason Candle knows, he's holding up his arms. He knows they've got to get it under control. He told us that, and that's something that you don't mind aggressive penalties, but not pre and post snap.
Desjuan Johnson knows very well you can't leap on the pile shape like that. It's just impossible. The whistle's blown already. First down, automatic. Lombardi the pump fake. Now time. Looks is for Travis. Sideline almost makes a tremendous one-handed grab, but it's knocked out of bounds and incomplete. Another flag is down at the 41-yard line. Let's check out this call.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
It's Logan Schernitz, guilty party for Northern Illinois.
I think this is pretty good coverage that time by number 27, Quinyon Mitchell, who's one of their faster players, and it was outstanding effort. It was almost an unbelievable catch. It wouldn't have counted because of the hold. And now he first down. But if I'm Northern Illinois, I don't necessarily, not as concerned about that penalty simply because now you still got first down. Now let's see whether they elect to run in here or pass it. Quarterback draw maybe.
On first and 20. Fake the fly sweep, run play instead. Lombardi does get into plus territory to about the 49. Short gain on the first down play. Rocky Lombardi, the junior from Clive, Iowa. It's outside Des Moines.
And why did I say, well, why are we talking about they didn't mind the penalty? Obviously, you mind it. But my point is, it's 9 minutes to go in the game. You actually want to play the clock game a little bit here. Their offense has not scored in the second half. Your defense is hot. I think they don't mind kind of grinding this out. You know, watch the play clock. They're letting the play clock run down. They've got a plan.
Lombardi passes. Tyrese Ritchie overshoots his intended receiver by quite a bit. Nate Bauer on coverage.
I think that's where what you were talking about with the accuracy ruins the plan. Now you have an incompletion. It's 9 minutes to go. The clock stops, and it's third down and 19. You're probably going to have to go to a draw, screen, something like that, and you're going to give the ball back to them. When you have those opportunities that are that wide open, you can't just miss those gimme layups.
Something Rocky told us this week, got to make those layups. Be better with accuracy. Now it's third and 19. Empty backfield. Pressure off the edge. Lombardi steps up. Rocky going to run with it. Lombardi tripped up, running forward. That spot looks good for a first down. He got to the 29. What an effort by Rocky Lombardi to stay on his feet, kept on trucking for 20 Husky yards, and moves the chains.
What a play. He steps up, he says, I messed up the last time, I'm not messing up again. I don't care if you trip me up, I get the first down. And he had the end. Oh, man, he's a competitor. And that's the one thing, that's what the coaches talked about. The players believe in his recipe. And that was a heck of an effort.
Clap snap first down. Tucker carries. Hit there by Zachary Ford, sophomore from Cleveland. Yeah, fumble recovery in that Notre Dame game. The close call, 3-point loss at South Bend on September 11th. What a game that was.
Yes, it was.
This is a one-score game, too, here.
Yeah, this game is what a game for me. And I love the way the personnel groupers are getting mixed and matched by Eric Eisnes. Now he's coming back with 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end. He just had 2 tight ends in the game. He's really mixed it up quite a bit in this game.
Here's second and long. Here's Ontario Brown. The stretch play, looks for room. Jonathan Jones cuts down the angle, and so does Samuel Womack. Good play in pursuit defensively for Toledo. It's a loss of 2.
Well, he's a freshman, and I think that you see a freshman, they want to bounce a run. You're not going to outrun Jonathan Jones or this Toledo defense. You have to move them vertically. It won't be horizontally. And that was kind of a wasted down.
Third down, but the clock is rolling here. in the fourth quarter, a one-score game. Could very well be four-down territory for Coach Hammock's Huskies. Let's find out. Big play again, 3rd and 11. Lombardi, QB keep all the way. Looks for room left. Not much this time. Deontay Johnson is there immediately with contact. So was Jackson Barrow. It's a gain of 3.
Well, the other thing that I think happens here, Dave, is that you now move it to the left hash. So how does your place kicker kick from that hash? Was that intentional? Were you running left because he's more comfortable kicking from this hash? Now, you were watching him in the pregame. He made a couple from this hash. Certainly had to be some of the thought process with that quarterback sweep.
He's had a busy day. 3 for 4. And this one from 47. Left hash. Big kick. Richardson has got it. 4 field goals today for John Richardson. Can you say MAC West Special Teams Player of the Week?
Well, you just said it.
I can't. 19-14, but hey, folks, it's still a one-score game. Don't go anywhere from the Glass Bowl. It's homecoming. The man of the moment right now, John Richardson, kicker of Northern Illinois.
That Grayson McCall, who has an 80% completion percentage at Coastal Carolina, and that's averaging 13.6 yards an attempt. He's got to be in my Heisman conversation. Pretty good team down there in Coastal.
It's rare to have that many non-Power 5 teams ranked in the top 25.
It's been a good season.
Sure has. Richardson kicking off. Who's going to beat Coastal? I don't know.
Yeah.
In a while. Touchback, Mitchell, no chance of a return. Desjuan Johnson had that. Desjuan Johnson, that big penalty a couple moments ago that helped continue the drive for Northern Illinois, ending up in the 4th field goal of the game for John Richardson. A career day for him. Here come the Rockets. Still a one-score game. Looking for their first points of the second half. DeQuan Finn, freshman from Detroit, runs the show for the Toledo offense.
Would you say he's gotten more snaps today than Bradley, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fake to Kovac. This is what he does so well. Run play. And stretched out pretty well by Hanson and company on the defense. C.J. Brown helped clean him up. Gain of 5 for the freshman QB.
I think you can use this approach the entire drive. I don't think you have to get into a pass mode at all with this much time left in the game.
Here's second down. Play fake to Kovac. Finn with some pressure. Deep ball for Rossi. Who's got this one? Drew Rossi, the tight end for Toledo. Gathers, rumbles ahead. Inside the 25 to the 24. First down, Toledo.
Remember when we put up the play earlier where Rossi was wide open down the field and Bradley couldn't hit him? This time Finn says, give me that chance and I'll put it right on him.
Gain of 46. First down. Kovac on the run right. Ratine, the tackle for Northern Illinois.
I think Toledo's left 2 touchdown passes on the field. If you go back to the first quarter, 4th and 2, the big pass to Mitchell, wide open, they couldn't hit it. And then they left the one to Rossi on the field. He couldn't quite get to it. They've left plays on the field. As good as Northern Illinois' defense has played, Toledo has left some plays on the field.
Kovac, the shift. Flanks his QB here on second down. Brian Kovac, stretch play right. Lance DeVoe makes the tackle for Northern Illinois. Senior, Pompano Beach, Florida. Out 2 full years with an injury. So great to have him back in the Husky lineup, the coaches tell us.
They called him a calming presence, plays fast. You were talking about the game he had a week ago. Here on third down, he's always a potential pressure guy. On these third down, and it looks like they're going to play some man coverage again. Can Finn recognize it?
Third down, big play again. Pressure coming from Northern. Pass over the middle. Jerwan Newton has got it. Touchdown, Toledo. Newton is in, and the Rockets in business again. But hang on, Rocket fans. There is a flag now.
Holding Offense number 78.
It's coming back.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Tally Gurman.
Third down.
Left guard, guilty party, wipe out the touchdown for Toledo.
Don't really see it from this angle. Gurman's on the other side. You see a pretty good block by Harris against Esther. It was a good read and timing from Finn. Now you got third down and a mile. Do you go back to the screen game? That worked with effectiveness earlier.
Sets up 3rd and 18. It takes the touchdown off the board. That's tough for Toledo. Finn, QB draw, set up. Laquan Finn. The play stretched out to the boundary. Good pursuit and a tackle for Jaden Dolphin. Had that pick 6 last week against Eastern Michigan up in DeKalb. So it sets up 4th down. The gain is 6.
I think the big question is, do you go for the field goal now and bring Clucky in the game? You don't go for that, and you give them the ball back, and you don't get the first down. They're going to play the clock game against you and make you use your timeouts.
Wow.
It looks like they're going to go ahead and say, stop us. And
here's 4th down. Huge play of the game. Deep ball, contact, flags from all directions. Jerwan Newton, intended receiver. Javon Bird on coverage for Northern. And this is going to be an automatic 1st down to keep the Toledo drive going.
And that's about anticipation as an offensive coordinator.
Pass interference. Defense number 29. Half the distance to goal from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
And when I say it,
the full 15 yards will be assessed from the previous spot.
when I say anticipation, what I mean is, as an offensive coordinator or a play caller, Jason Cannell, Robert Wine, or whomever, you have to anticipate what they're going to run in that situation. Man coverage is what they would get. They brought the receiver in motion, and they put Bird in an uncomfortable position.
Is that a huge call or what? Northern could have taken over on downs again and run the clock out. Penalties today, wow, 15 combined. It's a lot of yardage between the two teams. Got an official timeout here before the 1st down play. Huskies 2 timeouts and the Rockets 3.
Yeah, and I pick up the aggressiveness now. If I'm Thomas Hammock and really just Derek Jackson, I'm going to pressure more now. Because if anything, if you're going to score, you're going to go ahead and score now. You're going to do it on my terms.
The previous play is a full 15-yard penalty from the 26 to the 11, automatic 1st down.
All right, got that straightened out. 1st and 10 from the 11. They can get a 1st down. They want a touchdown right now. Laquan Finn could be getting closer in that starting job as the Toledo QB. Done some good work here today. Toledo's first red zone appearance of the game, Jake.
Wow. Not a surprise. They didn't cross midfield but once in the first half, so it's not a surprise.
1st down for Finn. Passing, Maddox catching, lunging. Touchdown, Toledo. Devin Maddox is in. No flags this time. Toledo scores for the 1st time in the 2nd half.
Excellent route. You stick out of the out cut off of his inside foot and separate it from Cody Brown. Then they were going to get some man coverage, and now they're going to potentially go for 2. And be a little bit alert for him running back to the weak side here. Off of the zone read action. If they throw it left, it could be a sprint out.
First 2-point try of the year for Toledo. Finn Handoff. Maddox. Maddox lunging. He didn't get there. Officials say short before he lost the football. No fumble, but no two-point conversion.
And that sets up everything for your favorite, the guy you've been talking about all day, John Richardson.
Got 4 field goals today.
20-19. We're coming down to the wire, Dave. 3:35 to go. Northern Illinois getting the ball back with Richardson on deck.
Here we go. Good finish in store from Toledo. 2019 game. Quan Finn outstanding. Couple touchdown passes. The last one of Devin Maddox to give Toledo its first points of the second half. Another lead, this by just 1 point. Each team trying to extend to a 3-game win streak this point of the year. Rockets beat Ball State and Muncie and then UMass last week.
And I don't think this could be a throwaway play, this kickoff return. Trayvon Rudolph is basically, last year he averaged almost 24 yards of return. He hadn't really gotten going this year, but this is a big opportunity right here for Rudolph to bust a big one.
It's all about field position. Plucky for Travis from the 5. Messiah Travis, speedy wide receiver. Looks for room, 20. Outside of 25, it's a good return.
Yeah.
So gain some real estate for Northern Illinois. With 2 timeouts and 3:28 to go. They'll try to get into the range of John Richardson, who's been the man today with 4 field goals for Northern Illinois.
And that's so huge. You started at the 29-yard line as opposed to the 19, 20, 21. Those 8 yards become big down the stretch of these games. And I think that's a good beginning, at least, for this potential scoring drive if they can get across midfield.
What a moment here for Rocky Lombardi, the first-year starter, Michigan State transfer, QB for Northern Illinois, trying to direct his team to win on the road. The first down play. Ducker carries. Hines got him. Jay Ducker. Short gain, give him 1 on first down.
What a job by Hines. This kid leads the team in tackles as an outside linebacker defensive end. How many times have they run to his side and you've called his name today? He's a tremendous football player who's been productive for a 3-year period.
Nine tackles today, you're right. Been everywhere. Here's second down. Clap snap. Lombardi keeps. Lombardi the edge. Johnson got there first with a tackle in space. He got to the 34. Deontay Johnson the hit. Sets up third down, but it's got to be 4-down territory, of course, this point of the game.
You've got to ask yourself, if you're Eric Eisness, what's most effective in terms of the third down play? Is it going to be the QB run game? Has that been our best play in the second half? Do you risk putting the ball up with the inconsistencies of Lombardi as a passer?
2 downs to get 5 yards. Third down play. Ducker breaks a tackle. Does have the first down for Northern Illinois.
What a run.
What a run indeed for Jay Ducker, the freshman from Bellevue, Nebraska.
And it's rare you can get a back with this type of just agility in a short area. Bam! He's actually working away from Desjuan Johnson because he runs over Sorahan. So Sorahan gets in his way, and he says, I'll get out of the way, and pick up a huge first down.
Clock moves, though, 1:35 and counting. 2 timeouts for the Huskies. From the 41, Ducker again up the middle. Chugs through traffic. Maxon Hook is there for the stop.
And at what point, Dave, do you turn the clock from we're trying to run the clock down to we're trying to score?
Right.
I think they're kind of wasting a little bit of time now. You're at 1:15, 1:14. Now you got to go to the air. You got to manage it a little bit better with the 2 timeouts that you have left. A lot of defensive personnel changes for Toledo late.
So a lot of clock moving here, Chaves. Second down. Here's Lombardi. Pressure off the edge from Johnson. Throws in traffic. Flags fly everywhere. Womack grabbing that sideline. Let's see what happened. This is a huge play. Pass interference going to come on Toledo. And Womack on the sideline. It's going to be an automatic first down for Northern Illinois.
That's a huge penalty for a number of reasons. We'll get into it after the call.
Pass interference, defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Okay, now why do I say this? First of all, this is pretty good coverage by Womack. They're both battling for the ball. I don't like the call. Looks like he might have almost gotten 1 foot down. But how does it change things? They can go back to the running game now. They keep their 2 timeouts. Now they're at the 42. We've seen him hit from about 43, so they need about 10 more yards. That was a key penalty, and one that I don't think Womack or this Toledo defensive staff with Vince Karras will forget anytime soon.
Wow. So 56 seconds. They get a timeout essentially with the penalty call. Automatic first down, Lombardi. On first down, wants it all for Ritchie, who gathers it. He's got it. Tyrese Ritchie has the catch. Inside the 10. And Northern Illinois is in business with 46 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, you have your senior for moments like this. 53 catches or whatever it was a year ago. And when it counts the most, the touch that we saw from Lombardi against Michigan a year ago comes up huge and 2 feet down as Ritchie corrals it over Mitchell. What a catch.
What a play dialed up by Eric Eidsness, the NIU offensive coordinator. And the connection, the touch was there that time.
Yes, it was.
The accuracy was there that time from Rocky Lombardi.
And you had to wonder if Ritchie would get back into his 2020 form, Dave. And certainly today you've seen the flashes.
Timeout.
This will be 30 seconds in length.
Here's my question, Dave. You got 46 seconds to go. Are you going to put the game on this kicker who's done well, or are you going to try to go ahead and score?
Today's play of the game brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Well, it's the kicker. We're just talking about him, Trey. He's made 4 today from 43, 26, 43, 47, but missed from 22 in the first half.
And where are you at now? That's the point. You kick a field goal now, you're closer to a 22-yard field goal. Not as much room for error, even if you're on the left hash, which apparently he likes. But I'm still thinking score if I'm Northern Illinois. I'm not going to put it on a bad exchange, a poor snap. I'm not going to put the game that we played so hard in on the kicker in this situation.
The all-time single-game NIU field goal made record is 5, by the way. He'd tie it if that's what happens here today. 46 seconds. Radkovich, the feature back, though. A lot can happen between now and then. First and goal. Radkovich carries. And Johnson pulls him backwards.
I get the plan on that is to get it into the middle of the field. As it seems like that was the only goal of that run.
Toledo. This will be 30 seconds in length.
Toledo takes the timeout this time. Play was a loss of 2 for Radkovich. We're back to the Glass Bowl in Toledo in 30 seconds.
Built for the guy who has everything and needs to tow it. The Tow and Stow is equipped with multiple ball sizes and adjusts in 1-inch increments to the height of your trailer for level towing. Best of all, it stows when you aren't using it, away from your shins and garage door. Machined from American steel, with a 2-stage finish, the Tow and Stow is the last hitch you'll ever need.
.40 seconds, and the football at the 9-yard line of Toledo. John Richardson, 4 field goals today, 4 of 5, gets ready. On the Husky sideline, Radkovich stays the feature back. I bet they'll give him the ball here. Yep, Radkovich again. Off right tackle. Maxon Hook has the play. We've got another timeout, gain of 1.
Yeah, it seems like now you can.
Toledo, This will be a 30-second timeout.
And now you're getting more to that right hash. I guess I'm trying to figure out maybe this is intentional again. I definitely felt like when we were talking about it the last drive when they were trying to get it to the left hash on the quarterback sweep to set up the field goal. But I think a couple of drives back. But my point being, here now you're going to go to the right hash. Is that what you're more comfortable with from him short?
How do you pick the hash for your kicker? Is it the preference of the kicker?
Absolutely. There's not going to be a special teams coach that's going to tell you where you want to kick from, holder, snapper, kicker. You talk about that in terms of like what yardage you want the ball on the hash with. So they kind of plan their offensive plays around where you want the ball at if it's a 25 or 27 or 28-yard field goal, which it is about right now. And I would think he'd want to eliminate any angle here on third down. You try to run it up the middle so he can get as much of a straight-on attempt as possible.
Off the timeout. Lombardi over center. Just going to get himself in the middle of the field. And down he goes. Timeout call by Toledo, their last.
So now there's no angle to worry about. It's just right. You got an extra point, basically, right? And
those can be tricky, the angles on short kicks, as we saw earlier today.
No doubt about it. And that's the thing that you're kind of discussing with him. You rarely will you see a field goal kicker want a shorter kick from a hash mark, because that's where you can completely misjudge your target line.
The thrilling win at Georgia Tech on the two-point conversion to Ritchie in the final moments, begin the year. A wild comeback against Wyoming, lost by a touchdown. Blasted by Michigan, beat Maine, beat Eastern Michigan by a score last week. And another tight one here today for John Richardson. And the Huskies on the road. From 29 for the lead. He's got it. Northern Illinois takes the lead. He's tied the school record for 5 field goals made in a game. And Northern Illinois is up by 2, 26 seconds to go.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every great play starts the night before. My Sleep Number 360 smart bed tracks my circadian rhythm, average heart rate, and breathing rate, so I know how well I'm sleeping. It's also temperature balancing, so I stay cool. And it senses my movement and automatically adjusts to help keep me comfortable all night. Sleep Number takes care of the science, so I can focus on other things. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number.
In the 2019 game, Northern Illinois against Toledo here at the Glass Bowl, game-winning field goal from John Richardson. Coach Hammock. It's tough to look, isn't it?
Yeah, but
head coach, oh man, so much on the line, so much work goes into this.
After the kick was made, though, his reaction was kind of like business as usual. Their reaction was a little bit, they understand the game's not quite over. And I think that goes once again, back to coaching.
Richardson has kicked it through the end zone just about every time today, and this one is blasted. On the back line of the end zone. Wow, what a kick. So a couple years ago, 25-yarder, 41 seconds left. That sounds familiar, right? He beat Toledo 31-28. Had a short one here today to put him up 22-20. I mean, this guy, player of the game for Northern for sure.
Well, you called it a little bit earlier. You actually called it for the MAC Special Teams Player of the Week. I might have to start looking at your predictions, but it's surprising, Dave. They're going to go with Finn here in an all-passing situation. I think this says something about where they think they're at with Finn. That right now, in this situation, you got to push the ball down the field. And another thing you got to be careful about if you're Northern Illinois is not getting too deep and letting him run for a big one.
Oh, flags first before the play, though. And a false start on Toledo. That hurts.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Left guard Vitaly Gurman, senior from Rochester, New York, upstate. No timeouts for Jason Candle. And made even more difficult now to try to get into field goal range.
You're going to have to throw the football towards the sidelines. That's got to be the key.
Finn, first down. Go back, has the catch. Thinking about that sideline, but can't get there.
Yeah, I don't get
got to him.
I don't get that. You're going to waste too much time. You've got it right now about 10 seconds that's going to go off the clock before you even get another snap off.
Second down. Finn, three-man rush, so he has lots of time. Throws on the move, sideline. Good play by Bird.
Keep in mind, before those two plays, Dave, 26 seconds were on the clock. It's down to 3. You got to do a better job, I think, in that. You got 26 seconds. That's time, to, even without a timeout, to get into some range.
Devin Maddox, the star receiver for Toledo, is just out, not moving much on the sideline. Getting up now, that's good news. He was just crushed there by Javon Bird a moment ago.
Well, think about the hook and ladder now with 3 seconds to go. The hook and ladder.
3 seconds on the board. That's it. Could be the last play. Finn passing. Mitchell catches. Newton. Koback. Here we go. Back to Finn. Clock's at 0. Got to throw it backwards. Got to be caught. It is. Newton still with a left-handed throw. This one is broken up by Dylan Thomas to end the game. And on a wild finish, Northern Illinois, thanks to 5 field goals from John Richardson, wins by 2 on the road at Toledo. And Coach Hammock's Huskies 4-2 after going winless last year.
A tremendous job.
Now for Corey Chavis, the entire crew, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from the Glass Bowl. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now we send it to Annapolis for number 24 SMU taking on Navy.